Hey, how you doing? Welcome out to The House That Happens, recorded live every week from Shuey's Bar and Grill, voted 4 times the best dive bar in the GTA, and you know it's number 1 in our hearts. I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name is Cruz.
And we're joined by a couple of special guests here today. A few guests that you may have heard already on The House That Happens. Zack, Benoit, and Stephen Milani. That's right, Zack. I remembered your last name this time.
Yeah.
Glad you guys could make it.
Side note for that, we're on broadcast, me and Andrew, and he's introing the game. He's like, Andrew Milani and Zack. What's your last name again? Like, mutes the mic. And
That.
I'm like, it's okay, Benoit.
The flow is good. The names are a little confusing. We'll get to that. That's part of the procedure.
I just hear Jay in my ear. Did he forget his last name? I'm like, fuck you, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny. I was like, we've worked together for 2 years now. What happened?
I was like, oh, it's French. Like, what is it?
I think it was the French part that confused you.
It really was.
It was the French part.
It's the French part. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. We should be more bilingual in this country. Glad you guys can make it. How you doing since the last time?
All right, we're cooking.
Yeah.
Good.
Feeling
That's
good.
We got lots to say about a lot of crazy things, but we got a new credo that we'd like to bring to The House That Happens. So every time you hear us, we have a lot of issues that, what would you say, that people dance on the fence to? Or,
Sure.
You know, maybe sometimes it's a social justice thing that we can't balance to, or maybe I'm hating analytics or whatever's going on. But we want to establish a creed that goes something like this. At The House That Happens, that we believe the fans are the most important to a team. However, family is the most important thing to our hearts. Agree, gentlemen?
Aye, aye.
To The House That
Absolutely.
Happens, and agreeing what's closer to your heart these days. We seem to have a heart-loving situation that's going on in sports that's absolutely driving me crazy. And when I heard little girls were ordering number 87 with Swifty on the back, I said, is this a sign of the apocalypse?
Well, that and do you see the picture where like the girl was wearing a Kelce jersey, but she had Kelce spelled K-E-L-S-E-Y?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I like that ever. As you notice, we haven't mentioned everybody's any names yet, but you guys, you know what we're
You
talking
already know
about.
what you're talking. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Well, let's not bury the lead. Travis Kelce just went out and called out the media. He's like, guys, you're like devoting way too much time and effort to this.
What? Travis Kelce said that,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, now let's cut to the chase, guys. We all listen to his podcast with his brother. It's pretty cool. Agree? What's it called? New Heights? Whatever?
I don't.
Whatever.
I know the
Travis.
name. I know it's really funny.
Yeah.
Those two together are
Oh, yeah.
comedy gold.
And his brother,
Comedy gold.
his brother, I forget his brother's
Jason-
first.
Jason
Yeah,
Kelce,
he's off the charts. Every time he comes on the show, I just turn him up. But it's really funny because I want to look at Travis's bank account. Okay? I want to see what commerce is going on here. Not only do you have the podcast, now that you've got Miss Taylor Swift, who's probably the biggest iconic pop culture figure in the world as we speak, would we be able to say that?
Probably right now.
So
yeah.
you don't think hanging out with her affects his pocketbook? If they're getting jerseys with Swifties on the back, he's got more commercials whenever, and then he tells the media to back up. I think that's kind of, I don't know.
No, but he's what? So he's not entitled to have that relationship?
No, I think he should. And
Okay.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for everything that's going on. I don't like it because I'm the old man. I'm the get off your lawn guy, guys. So when I see it, I say, okay, I see her. It's enough. We don't like, you know what you were saying about the NBA? Zach, you're
Yeah,
talking
we
about-
were having this whole conversation before you guys came in, but basically, Jason Kelce put this the best way possible how I see the situation too, where it's the NBA handles celebrities the right way.
Yeah.
You know, they'll sit them courtside, they'll show them once or twice, and then throughout the game, you'll periodically see them when the camera's panning and all that, and that's it. That's all they're getting. And it's like, and then football is they're just overdoing it because obviously they haven't had somebody as big as Taylor Swift ever, attend as many games as she has, even though it's only been like 2 games so far.
Right.
But it's just like 10, 12 times, and it's overdoing it.
Oh, 100%.
And it's too much.
The commercial aspect is which appeals to me. Because anytime you can use things like this to make money, that's my point about Travis. He's telling the media to back off, but he's not telling you what all these media things has done to his bank book, which has jacked it up appreciably. Like, how many commercials has the guy got? I get him on TV.
Well, I don't think the Taylor Swift thing has really affected that. I'd say at this podcast.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
agree too, but now that he knows him, like, people are looking at him more. Because even in the commercials, those little girls are knowing, or those wives, or all those extra people that aren't necessarily sports people are looking at what's he selling.
Yeah. But
Everything
he's not
with
wrong,
them.
though.
What's that?
He's not wrong.
About the media?
Yeah.
I think that he set it up so once you sit down at the table, you get served. That's how I look at it. He sat down at the table. Now it was pretty cool when he was getting there, when he was telling everybody how she sold out Arrowhead twice. I had to say thank you.
That was before the fact, though.
Okay, that was the impetus. So let me just say this. If they fall in love and have 3 children and live happily ever after, that's amazing. If she writes a song about him in 2 years, that's cool too, because I don't really give a flying fuck what they do. I want to watch football.
I think my favorite thing that I've seen online was somebody panned to the pictures of the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was Kelce. And it said Hurts Swift, and there was like, oh, jerseys are predicting the future. Travis Kelce is gonna hurt Taylor Swift, and there's gonna be a new song in about a year's time. And it was so funny when I saw that.
I thought that's the best. And you know what? I'm a big music guy, and I'm one of the people that have said I've seen her documentary where they sat around the campfire where they're building the songs. The girl can sing, the girl can play, but when I'm watching Monday Night Football, I'm watching Monday Night Football. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. However, if it brings eyes. You know what I mean? If it brings eyes to the monolith, which is the NFL, like we were saying, if they find a nickel under a stone, they're picking it up. That's why they're so rich, so to speak. But I'm thinking the saturation level has got to a point where other shows, like on other, like this isn't football now. I'm watching MLB Network, and I was watching Intentional Talk. And what's her name? Sierra? Okay, she's a woman, and she said, come on, please. And she was saying the same as I is. If they're having a wonderful relationship, that's great. Why do we got to see it every 10 minutes? We're going to know this week, correct? Is she supposed to come out again?
Probably. She'll probably will.
Ask me if I care.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned
You brought it up.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm saying, here's what I'm trying to do at the House That Happens. We're saying, can we put this to rest? We'll talk about things that are now sports. We hope they have an amazing time. I hope they dress well, they eat at better restaurants than I do, sleep in nicer hotels.
Keep selling out Arrowhead.
And we're good with that. You know what I mean? So we're all positive here at the House That Happens concerning Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce extravaganza.
I mean, it really makes no difference in my life, so...
You know what? It never gets me a beer.
Yeah.
Never gets me a beer. You know, if it got me one beer, perhaps I could... deal with it.
Never buys me a pack of joints, you know.
No. Never ties my shoes and never walks my dog.
No.
Okay, we're done with him. You know what I'm saying? What we should be talking about from a more positive point of view here in Toronto is the Toronto Argonauts.
13-2 as the season rolls on. They beat Edmonton at home last night, 35-12.
That was a gimme game, don't you think? You guys watching the CFL much this year?
A little bit here and there. When I was working downtown at the Rogers Center, I had one guy who's one of my coworkers was a huge CFL fan, and every time we'd walk down, he's like, every time you got to talk about the Argos, you got to say the beloved boatman.
The boat, yes. Okay,
he's like the beloved boatman.
Beloved boatman.
And then when they lost their second game, he's like, like he gasped for air at Union Station. He's like, our beloved boatman lost.
Okay, so if they're the beloved boatmen, here's my only bitch about the Toronto Argonauts. I grew up in a border city. That's why I'm a Lions diehard. So I didn't really pay much attention to Canadian football because I'm a Michigan guy. I'm a Detroit guy. My uncle took me to the big house when I was 11. Okay, so when I did come here and see the Argos, they had that cool double blue. That was the beloved boatman. I think the marketing in the new age when they got these new uniforms, they look like old Jays uniforms and
the baby blues,
trouble colors. I'm going, no, man, you had one. And look at the Argo motif. That's badass.
So good that the Tennessee Titans rip it up.
Basically, that's what I'm thinking. Look at the Tennessee Titans have basically ripped in a weird way, taken the Toronto Argo motif. But go back and look at the Argos uniforms, the 80s and 90s. They looked as good as any football uniform, college, pro, anywhere. But then it gets new and we got to put flashy toys in front of the girls and boys so they all see and they wear those silly looking. What do you think of their uniforms?
The baby blues, I hate them.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, why change a good thing?
I don't know. I don't get it.
The
classic double blue was such an iconic look.
Exactly, with the Argo motif. And I'm still saying, if you watched our show previously about the NFL coming to Toronto, I still want the NFL team to be called the Toronto Argonauts.
Not going to happen, but not going to happen.
Are we going to go to a straight Grey Cup run, guys? Are we going to get it? Or do you think I think we should steamroll to it, eh?
Well, I think they've already clinched the bye into the Eastern Final.
Yep.
And I don't expect whoever they play there to give them much trouble.
No
offense to Hamilton or whoever could be there. Montreal, maybe. I don't know.
Big shout out to Shoeys because Shoeys is now part of the ongoing, tailgate, house parties. They had a bash here the other night. They filled the house with Argo fans. I was very, very impressed. Good
last
job.
week.
Good job to Shoeys.
Then a bunch of them went down to the game last night. I saw that.
Oh, yeah, a whole gang of them. I guess it's more fun because Shoeys is also known as a Raider bar, so it must be more fun cheering for the Argos right now, don't you think? We'll get to that later, you know what I mean?
So moving on, you want to get to the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, guys, I wanted to, first of all, we all know what happened. I'm at the house that happens, he brings Formula One, I bring golf. But I don't know, I'm a golf junkie, and I've watched the Ryder Cup for years, and of course, we know the Americans haven't won there in 30 years. Okay, in Europe.
In Europe,
in 30 years. So one of the things that happened is the tournament was started, is all the European players were playing in the BMW Championship, the Irish Open, and the Italian Open, which is about 6 weeks or 2 months before the Ryder Cup, which was held at the same venue as the Ryder Cup was. The Americans sat at home smoking weed, drinking beer, and watching the first 3 weeks of football season, and then played no competitive golf. We've seen the results. Is that going to be in the future? People say maybe you guys should have played a few rounds of competitive golf before you went there. Number one. Number two, because everybody got a little pissy about things, I think that the American team would have done a lot better if they had Bryson DeChambeau and Dustin Johnson.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That would have done. But the most interesting thing to me, and maybe you guys can help me out, because I don't like to sit on the fence with issues, but I'm kind of weirded out about this one in this respect. If you didn't notice, Patrick Catlin did not wear a hat while he was walking around the course. He took a lot of abuse until Corin Morikawa and Jason Thomas also decided not to wear a hat. Now, it didn't come out right away, but the bottom line was Cantley was saying, hey, man, we don't get paid a nickel for this. Shouldn't we get the time of day? So he said, if I'm not getting any money for this, I'm not wearing no hat.
Was it like the hat just for like the sponsorships and
No,
stuff like that?
no,
or
this
just-
was
like a
the
Team USA cap.
Oh,
USA,
okay.
You know, everybody wears uniforms in Ryder Cup.
I mean, I guess that's a little bit justified. If you're not, like, obviously it's a big event. Like, you want to represent where you're from. Like, you're representing like Team USA or something like that. But like, if you're not gaining anything out of it. You know, like you're not getting paid from it. I can kind of understand why he would say like, well, why would I want to represent that?
Well, like this bottom line is that one of the pushbacks huge was, everyone knows, first thing they said was how much Cantley's money he's made in the last 3 years. He's made more than me. Okay, let's cut to the chase.
I hope if he's on the tour.
Okay, and he made the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
If he qualified for Ryder Cup, he's making more money than me. However, what the kickback is, if you play in the Olympics, you win a gold medal, you get $100,000. You win a silver medal, you get a $50,000 or something like that. You get money. So what I didn't understand, and here's a great juxtaposition for me, is I didn't realize the amount of coin that the Ryder Cup generates. And it's millions and millions of dollars with sponsorship, TV, because everybody's fighting it, because Ryder Cup's huge in Europe too. This is just below World Cup of soccer. Like, this is one of these great world things that, anyways, all the guys were saying is that, can we just get a little piece of the pie? Because where does this money go? Because it goes back to USGA gets their chunk. Now, I heard this. All those golf pros that work at all those huge events where everybody comes to play, like if it's the college championship or one of the events, there's all these pros that run these clubs to advance golf in America. So they say a lot of this money funnels down to them, because there's no golf pro that's going to make what Patrick Cantley makes.
No.
In any club. You know what I mean? So they're saying it's more important that the money comes down to the USGA, and they're going to distribute it for the benefit of a game. Now, if you believe that system works perfectly, I got this leprechaun unicorn story I got to tell you. Because that was Phil Mickelson's bitch, and he's got a point here. Where does all this money go? Now, they tell you this, and they always see it, but I don't see anybody doing any accounting. I don't see anybody getting anything, and I think that it was interesting I'm kind of backing the players in the sense that if you go represent your country in the Olympics, if you go represent your country in World Cup, soccer, all of these events, you get money, right?
Yeah.
And part of the reason we had this problem was with our Canadian soccer, women's soccer.
And men's.
And men's, because we weren't talking about how the money was being distributed, and look what happened to the women's team. First team that won the Olympics that gets knocked out in the first round of the World Cup. Never happened before. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of siding with the players, but at the same, I think it's good that Cantley brought it forward. But if you guys watch any of the Ryder Cup, Have you seen what was going on, the shenanigans with the fans and the chirping? Like, you see no chirping in the world like when you see Ryder Cup. They say it's bad as on an NFL field at a tie game in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? So any event, I don't know. What do you guys think? Did the players should get a little bite?
I don't see why not.
Especially
when the Ryder Cup generates like a ton of money, right?
The money it generates is what caught me off guard.
Hey, you deserve a piece of the pie.
Yeah, that's what absolutely. I'm saying. You know. Did you see what they're doing in college right now? This is really insane. Remember, you were an amateur athlete before, and now you have NIL and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer.
Oh, huge! You see what they just did in Utah this week?
No, what's that?
Everybody on the football team got a new truck.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and I forget what it was, a Dodge Ram or an F-150, and it had a little painting on the side of, like, the Utah. They all got a little Utah thing on the side of the car.
So, guys, I got an announcement. The house that happens will be moving to University of Utah.
Are we there yet?
So we get a new truck.
Are we
Yeah.
there, too?
Yeah. Zach, Steven, you guys are invited.
Just think about what Canada would be if we invested the same amount of money into, like, college sports as the States does.
Oh, you know? We should. Come on.
Yeah, like Andrew, like look at Humber College for us, but like just with the broadcast that we have. Imagine, you know, if it was like, oh, you have your own custom softball diamond, soccer fields, all just behind the campus. Like,
I think the problem would be we'd be out of the job because they'd be hiring people
probably.
they're like way above us.
No, don't say that. You guys could handle that. I disagree.
Oh,
with
I know
that.
we can handle it, but like if they once they have a little more money in their pocket, they'd be thinking, let's invest in, you know.
Exactly. I mean, like, we're already the best broadcast of the OCAA.
Thank you. That's what I want to hear, Zach.
We're the best broadcast of the OCAA.
Thank you. And I'm championing my buddy. Buddy, you see him come in today with the aura, the fresh haircut, his voice. They'd be paying him more because there'd be more people attracted to the game because Andrew Milani's behind the mic.
I hope so.
That way.
You should have seen it last year when Milani walked up with the big mustache and everything. Oh. Game changer.
I'm telling you.
It was the Magnum PI situation.
Oh, hell yeah.
Don't sell yourself short. And what you should be doing is, you're so right. If the Canadians, we invested in more. It's just the system's the same. A long time ago, we want to be different than Americans because Canadians, when I was growing up, since I was like young, and about why don't we have sponsorships and scholarships? Oh, it gets corrupt. It gets corrupt. Now we have NIL, so what's Canada going to do? We're going to still treat our athletes the same way? Come on, we should throw them in there. Like,
I mean, it's apples and oranges, though, right?
Exactly, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is a way for us to even get to that level, because all of with the states, it's a lot of private institutions. Their universities here, they're all public.
Okay, so Humber's public too, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I think that you guys, for certain events, I know you guys generate a certain amount of populace that comes to your games.
Sure.
That's a little bit of.
I'm not basketball nationals a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
That's all commerce. I'm just saying, if it was exposed a little bit more and get a little bit more revenue in there, why not? You know what I mean? You could attract more. Like, everybody knows that in Humber, in the city, you guys are just below the cusp of all the other stuff. Like, how far below the Argos are you guys really? When you talk about the Humber College...
Oh, I don't know.
No, listen to my point. No, I'm going to tell you this much. You look down at BMO Field, and they paper the room, and they got this many people and all that. Now, I'm not saying you're on the level of the Argos. I'm just saying this. You guys have pushed yourself that you're sustainable.
Sure.
The Humber College sports programs are sustainable, and with the people that show up, you guys are generating commerce for the college to continue to go on. Now imagine if we push that a little more in American style way, like, you know what I mean?
It'd be insane.
Hey, there you go. And why not? Why not sponsor our athletes? Our athletes could be as good as anyone in the world, and we treat them as good as anyone in the world. We know what goes on in Australia. Why do you think that they're always at the top of the world and we're not?
Well, I mean, there's a reason why we lose our best athletes to the States.
Oh, there you go. Part two.
Like, look how many Canadian athletes actually go down to the States for school. You know, like you can look at like hockey alone.
Athletics,
so many.
Oh God.
Baseball, baseball's growing now with Canadian athletes moving down to the States and making a name for themselves. Then you can look at like basketball as well. Like just those three sports in general. Like, if Canada had a better system, and this is something I also liked out in Vancouver that they do. Like the university, I think it's the UBC. They actually compete in the NCAA.
Same with Simon Fraser.
Yeah, they're actually competing in the NCAA. So it's like these kids, like these students, these athletes. They're gonna get like sponsorships, all that, because they're technically, even though they're Canadian school, they're in the NCAA.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do more of that. That's my take on it. for everywhere. Like, why can't we have scholarships? Why can't we have, like, more of that exposure? Because look, one thing alone that always blew my mind. If we're the same size as Australia, how come Australians always get to be on this level of sports? We hear about those Australians. We don't hear as much about as Canadians. But the lotteries they have, the sponsorships they have. Like, if you hit a world-class time in Australia, they give you money to keep training. I heard they're supposed to do that in Canada, but have you heard of us doing that? No. But we do have BioSteel. The BioSteel came in. That was a good thing.
Even though they went bankrupt.
Did they?
Yeah. So they got bought by like a weed company years ago, and like I think they're just trying to sell them off.
But I'm saying that program.
It's an operations issue with BioSteel. It's because their sales are really good, but just like it's costing too much to produce.
Okay, but let me rephrase that. BioSteel started it, but the organization out in Orangeville or Georgetown, it is for the basketball guys. That is still that camp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they've got a baseball camp in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Like, those two things are going. And, like, how long have they been doing that? Not as long as you guys have been alive. And they should have been doing it long before you guys were alive. Yeah. That's just my point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we'll move on from, since we're talking about sponsorships and big money, move on to Formula One. They're in Qatar this weekend.
I love that track.
Max, it's a great track. One DRS zone on that main straight. Max Verstappen picked up pole position yesterday. And then Oscar Piastri picked up pole in the sprint race, which will happen today.
Any time now, isn't it?
It'll be later on, won't it?
Yeah, I believe like 1:30 is the start time or something like that.
Yeah, because that's like 6 o'clock their time or something, right?
Did Logan Sargent not qualify for the sprint? Wow.
What?
Really?
Yeah, because he was
A lot
past.
of problems last night, I noticed, on the qualifying.
Oh no, he's permitted to race, but he was below the 107% time.
Yeah, I see that lap time of 2:05. What is going on?
That couldn't have been a hot lap. I think he just didn't get a lap in.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you guys watch qualifying?
I did watch qualifying last
there
night.
Was a lot of car technical. See, I wanted to text you and say what's going on, because guys were whipping off the track and going back on really quick, and I couldn't understand. And when I'm turning,
they were saying there was wind there.
Wind,
right?
And like a lot of sand was being blown onto the circuit, so it was very slippery.
That's why they kept changing the tire stuff, right?
Yeah.
Checking the tires. I was wondering, like, I was going around one lap and coming off, and they were changing the tires, and I'm going, one lap? Come on, a couple guys, was it Hamilton or was it Mercedes or Ferrari? One of them. One guy went around, he went off right away, and I went, what? You know what I mean? And they do that little thing that says not lap.
Yeah.
Or all that shit. Because I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm catching on.
Do you see Lance Stroll pushing his trainer after he got eliminated?
Oh, he did not look happy. He did not.
Well, he knows his ass is on the line.
Oh, that's
We've talked about the tennis rumors and all that before.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. But in any event, though, that's good, bad, and ugly, don't you think, guys? Like, first of all, you're not supposed to be doing that in public.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's more bad and ugly than good.
But don't you want your guy...
I don't know if any of that's good.
Yeah.
No, man,
shoving a trainer down.
Okay, I'm not saying it's good, but I want to know that my guy wants to win that badly.
But, like, see, I was saying this yesterday when I saw that. Like, where was that, like, maybe before the summer break?
Point well taken.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's too late now. There's already 6 races left, including this weekend. Like, where was this earlier? Like... Why? Like, it's too late.
Yeah, Lance didn't get the result when Aston Martin was doing well. I know Alonso got a good result here in qualifying, but people were speculating that was because they made some changes to the car that would make him better in qualifying, but maybe not so good in the race. So they're taking a little bit of a gamble there.
Plus, both McLarens had their lap times deleted in Q3, so he moved up 2 spots just based on that.
Okay, so now that's Steven. Tell me, why did they get deleted? I didn't understand that.
Track limits.
Yeah.
What?
So
Track
there's the white line. When you cross that completely, your lap time gets deleted.
Okay.
You have to keep as long as one of your tires is on the black.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought there was something going on there, but I didn't get it. I just seen the deleted. The guy was flying, by the way. Mm-hmm. He was freaking flying. I thought,
too
whoa.
far.
What?
Flying too far.
Oh, yeah. He was going. He was giving her. Then I seen the replay because, Zach, as you know, I'm a complete amateur at Formula One.
Hey, don't worry. My knowledge of Formula One is Max Verstappen is always first, and then it's everybody else.
Do you know how?
That's all you need to know, really.
That's really my knowledge.
At the house that happens, and we get to our end of the year show, Max Verstappen is our favorite villain. He's like the Joker at the house that happens. We love him so much. You know what I mean?
He's a heel.
By the time next season starts, I will have a Max Verstappen shirt of some style.
Oh, one of my close friends. One of my close friends. He's the biggest Max Verstappen fan. It's hilarious.
But you ever go out to a bar though, and this is what Andrew pointed out to me, like, about when people talk about Formula One, and I'm now learning about it, and then you hear, like, somebody bitching about Max, like, no tomorrow, and then I go, what do you do? And I go, they're a Lewis Hamilton fan. Just go, okay.
Or a Ferrari fan.
Or a Ferrari fan, yeah. Like, I didn't realize that dichotomy of fandom that goes on there. Like, I'm just talking, I'm in my son's bar, and this girl, the bartender, goes, oh, you know Formula One? And she went off, and I said, I think Max Verstappen's kind of a cool villain. She went off 10 minutes, trashing the guy. Well, who do you like? Oh, Lewis Hamilton. And I connected the dots.
Isn't it
no, I remember that conversation. You were saying it was because like she hated Alonso too. That's how we were able to deduct that she liked Hamilton.
Yeah, all that stuff. Like, I go, wow, this is a little deeper than I thought. It's almost like a sports soap opera of another level.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we at the house love Max. I hope we're all going to watch the tape today, but I don't think we're going to have to watch much Formula One after today, right? If Max just blows it out of the water.
I mean, yeah, all he needs is, I think, like, to outscore Perez by like 3 points in the sprint, and he's champion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And we've got 6 races to go, right?
Yep.
How come Perez looks so sad? His partner.
Because that second Red Bull seat is cursed.
Yeah.
Do you see when he gets out of the car, he looks like he's got to run to the bathroom, or he wants to beat his wife, or he just gets out of his car.
He didn't even make
looks
it past
evil.
him, and Sainz didn't make it past Q2.
Exactly.
Which was a big
Yeah,
shock.
that's what I was saying. Like, he kept going down the ladder, and then when he got out of the car, I go, he doesn't look like he's going for a milkshake.
Speaking of another, he's another guy whose ass is on the line too.
Oh, I know. You know what I mean? It's cutthroat. You know, on that level, and you know, I'm glad I'm learning a lot more about it on this, is that the seriousness about competition. Because, guys, what we always say at the house that happens, number one, it's the high level of competition that brings us to this table first. Mm-hmm. And this Formula One stuff is next level. Even though Max is just blowing him out of the water, it's like the Dolphins thing back in the day, undefeated team, or you know, the Habs greatness, or whatever, you know, a team winning 75 games in a row. Like, this Max thing is cool.
Yeah,
I just like the fact that he walks into public and he's such a prick. Like, I just like when he goes up and talks to girls, it's like matter of fact. Like, okay, what's the word? It's not cocky if you're backing it up, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak.
I think that's about it for Formula One. Next, we got Hockey Canada. So they made it a rule now that basically new locker room rules, basically that you have to have like a base layer undergarment in the actual locker room. And a lot of the reaction online has not been positive to this. A lot of the world's gotten too soft. Well, I got a thing to say about that. Look up just look up like hockey locker room abuse, and you'll see hundreds of reasons why they had to put this rule in place, basically.
Very ugly.
Yeah.
Extremely ugly. You know what?
It's just sad that it had to get to this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like I said, once again, from the old school, when I hear shit like this, I go, what happened? That you got to get to a level where you got to, like, you know, organize a dressing room this way? Like, don't people have respect for each other?
Apparently not.
I've been in locker rooms where stupid things have happened. People have thrown stuff and done goofy shit. But that's boys being boys. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think this comes to a level of boys being boys. What do you think, guys?
This is just sometimes people crossing the line. Like, it may not be the locker room stuff, but it's like we've seen it with, I think it was like the St. Michael's in Toronto school there.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
hazing.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't people, and you know, usually boys, like young men will take the hazing to a whole nother level. And like you said, Andrew, like, it's just the fact that it had to come to this is just really sad in a way, because it's like
pathetic. Really,
I don't think the world's not gone soft. It's just at this point you're protecting the kids and future generations of hazing, which in my mind isn't bad, but to a point.
Yeah, like where do you stop it? Like, you know what I mean?
Like make a rookie wear a pink backpack or something, like a Barbie shirt.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't physically hurt a guy.
You know, when they come off the plane,
mm-hmm.
Exactly. You ever see it? Was it at the All-Star break or something? The game before, when they travel in baseball and they have a theme or something, and everyone's got to come out dressed like frickin' the Wicked Witch of the West or something outrageous, and you see these guys coming off the airplane, and it's hilarious. Like, that kind of stuff, that's good for the camaraderie of the game. Mm-hmm. But this, like, the history of stuff, especially in Canada here, I mean, there's other sports. We've had the Michigan State nonsense and all of that, too. But to have it get to a point where you're saying this locker room thing and how you got to be, and It's really a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, like we've kind of talked about this before, where there's something obviously wrong with hockey culture that the people at the top have not wanted to acknowledge, and it's ballooned into something extremely ugly that it's going to take, I don't know. I don't even know what's going to take generations.
Okay, well,
to
I'm just glad that they stabbed the underbelly, because that's what
Well,
it
they had
was.
to do
It was
something.
a sinister underbelly that went on, and somebody had to take care of it. I'm glad it's done. For all you guys out there that are listening to the show, we're junior level. I want to do a shout out to Zack Sandu, who is a representative of Shuey's Bar and Grill, is getting more ice time for the Guelph Storm. Having a good year, Zach. We're talking about you, about time to give you a shout out. But that being said, he's in a junior hockey room locker. And we want to talk to all you kids that are out there in locker rooms having fun because you enjoy the game. If you see anything that's unbeknownst behavior, say when it happens right away. Mm-hmm. Don't we agree with that? Don't push it under the carpet or anything like that.
Yeah,
you know what
like
I mean?
said, there's levels of hazing. Like you can do joke stuff and where everybody knows it's a joke, and then there's actually physically either like assaulting somebody or physically verbally assaulting or whatever. Like there's levels to it, and it's like if you're seeing the physical side where in your head you're like, hey, this isn't right. Like just speak up.
Damn right.
Don't hold
We
it
at the
back.
house.
Just because you're a rookie or anything and you're seeing it, don't be quiet about it. Like
No.
At the end of the day, like we say it for OCAA all the time, like player health and safety is priority. And that goes across any sport, like whatever level, that's number one, player health and safety. And
That's life. That should be life. You know what I mean? Safety is number one.
Yep.
Trust me, I know airbags now. Safety thing, believe me. You know what I mean? In any event, there's only one other thing before we get on to the main thing that we're going about. We are eventually going to be doing a show about the state of human combat in the world today.
Yes.
It's coming up soon, and I just wanted to say, I said a month ago, and I'm saying it again. Last week there was a fight between Canelo and the young guy, Tremello. He moved up 2 brackets because this was supposed to be one of those fights. Were any of you guys aware of this?
No. I had no idea.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm talking. We will get to that later, but last month it was the Crawford Spence fight. We talked about it. We got in the show. I asked anybody, does anybody know about this fight? So we're just saying it's coming to the future. The House That Happens will be bringing you our belief in the state of human combat. Nothing to do with WWE.
No.
We're not going there yet. You know what I'm saying?
The less we say about WWE on the show, the better, I think.
Oh, I'm glad you got it in. Zach, not you, Zach. Zach Cruz. Did you hear that, Zach? Paul Semenuk, BOH, all you guys are listening. We won't even say the letters anymore. How is that? Can we agree?
Sure.
We're not even going to say the letters.
Just do with your hand.
No, you can. No, if you can throw. Let's get some parameters in. If you can throw in a Macho Man reference or a Hulk Hogan reference,
Sure.
we can attest to accepting that.
Right.
But outside of that,
No.
Thank you. We put a lid on that right away.
And speaking of people getting beat up, I feel like I need like a bell for this. And like, in Monty Python, bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Oh my God.
God.
How we all feeling about this guy? But first of all, I'm going to say one thing. As soon as I leave here, I'm watching baseball for the rest of the day. I don't give a shit. However, we have a series. Is this a eulogy? Is this
I think so. Awake.
Are we awake? What's going on? I'm going to say it here first because someone's got to break the ice. But God damn it, the Toronto Blue Jays, you guys were frauds, just like we said all summer.
Oh, I'm getting so sick of Atkins and Shapiro. Shatkins,
Okay, whatever you want to call it. Now, first of all, can we say this?
Worst overthinkers of all time.
No, let's even say that they were cowardice because they're not having their press conference. Isn't coming up any minute.
Oh, it's done. I have all the quotes. That's why you've been seeing me go on my phone.
Oh, God, this should be good.
So,
Okay, number one question. Why did they take out Barrios?
Oh my God, I can't. First off, everyone knows I'm a huge baseball guy, and I will support the Jays till the day I die.
Of course.
This pitching staff that they had this year, hands down, is a World Series pitching staff. If they had this rotation, this bullpen back in 2015, they're winning the World Series.
This is one of the best staffs they've ever had.
the fact that it was wasted on a different approach at the plate that you wanted to take is blasphemy.
Preach.
So we saw John Schneider talk about the decision making at the end of the game, saying, it came down from everybody. It was a plan before we came in, yada yada yada. There were 3 quotes from Atkins today that I've defended the front office a lot, because what Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro, what they've built with this team and the trades they've acquired the last couple of years to make this team in a more competitive aspect, I will respect them for it. Dalton Varsho, he didn't have a good offensive year, but I still think he's going to be a very good piece going forward. He's your new starting center fielder.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back.
You look at the pitching rotation and how they flipped around Kikuchi, Barrios, his contract's looking like a steal. Kevin Gausman, his contract is a steal.
Yep.
Obviously, there's issues with Alek Manoah. Those will be addressed later. Ross Atkins told reporters that the decision to lift Barrios for Kikuchi was made by the coaches and an advanced scout, and that he found out when he did, and he said, John Schneider made that decision to deploy that, and that's what occurred. We stand by John's decision. Atkins also said, I was surprised he was coming out. I thought it was a courageous decision.
Courageous.
He doesn't believe John
word.
Schneider felt any pressure from the front office to make the Barrios move. Atkins also says Schneider will be back next year. Discussions on coaching staff ongoing. My biggest issue with this is that nobody is taking the blame for what happened. Schneider said it was on the front office and deeper in analytics, and my part is it was on the analytics department, but that's further. But then your GM, your manager, they just throw it right back onto your coach. That's when I have an issue with it. It's
what a bunch of schmucks.
Somebody take accountability.
This is worse.
Embarrassing.
I've defended John Schneider because I do think down the road, once he understands to take more charge, he will be a good manager. He's a player-first manager.
He's the drinking buddy right now, though.
Exactly.
And you know what? I think I'll give you credit for this. Schneider's an old-school baseball guy. You can tell.
He's a good manager.
Okay, then make him a manager and not a caretaker.
He needs to learn to have a little bit more gut and understanding, and baseball knowledge, understanding, hey, Jose Barrios is pitching in his park that he called home for 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's dominating. He has 6 strikeouts through 3 innings.
Oh, but he allows one walk. Time to go.
If you want to do the math, that's 9 batters, and he struck out 6 of them.
Okay, so now you hold this thought here, because I'm not an analytics guy at all. Andrew and I fight about analytics all the time because I think that's for freaking women and children at times, okay? And here's my thinking on it.
What does that mean?
Yeah, because I'm evil. It's evil. It's soft, okay? Because here's what I'm saying, okay? If you were the analytics geniuses that you were, then Bassett should have started game 1, because everybody knew the numbers that Gausman had against Minnesota were brutal. He was the worst pitch team in the last 2 years. They don't swing at his freaking slider. His numbers there, his pitch count has been insane. Did you see the numbers?
They figured out that, they found his tell, basically, which pitch he was going to
Well, there was something going on with Minnesota and him. So if they
Yeah.
believed in analytics that much, then Bassett had to come out. But now we got the other problem. Isn't Gausman going to be an ace? Well, I'm just going to let you guys take over, Steven, Zach, and Andrew, because if you listen to this show, I said 3 things, and let's see what happened. First of all, I said they wouldn't make the playoffs at All-Star break. However, I came back with this and said, if they do make the playoffs, they will come in through the back door. Oh, by the way, how did the Blue Jays get into the playoffs? They went in through the back door. Number 2, I said that their defense was a little bit fraudulent because they don't play a same lineup every day. Nobody gets comfortable with each other. And so what happens? I seen a couple balls get hit through the gap because our guy Varsho wasn't positioned properly, and they hit the gap, and they said it was a good hit. No, they didn't chase the ball down. Number 2, I've said that Bichette is a second baseman. He is not a shortstop. Did you see that big throw that would have freaking had a double play and ended the inning? No, he didn't make the throw, so they got the next guy up, hit a run, scored 2 runs. And number 3, we lost how many games because of the base running bullshit that I've seen all year? And what did we see during the playoffs? So I said when we go in here, if any of those things rear their ugly head, the Blue Jays will be gone and prove to me that they were frauds. It was worse than I thought. Gozman blew up. Remember, Andrew, I said, if our guy's not today, Gozman blows up. The bad fielding, the bad base running, and what do? Can't hit.
That's the worst one of all. We've said it before on the show, fielding is like, what, 5-10% of the entire game?
But that 10% reared its head.
But if we were hitting well and not making stupid outs on the base paths, then like it wouldn't have mattered.
I say right now that I don't give a damn what anyone thinks, that someone's got to tell Bichette he's a second baseman. Guys, you've seen him in the hole.
Bichette's been the least of our problems this year.
Oh, but look at the crucial time. He did not make a throw. Now, he hit well. So
he hit amazing.
Actually, I think it's Bichette's team. I think sometimes players try a little too hard at times. I'll give him I don't give Vladdy the benefit of a doubt, but I'm giving Bo the benefit of a doubt.
I'm with you.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? We're going to say there, Zach?
I was going to say, so the 2 things on that play. Yes, it was a bad throw by Bichette, but also Vlad needs to learn to stop striding the wrong way, and that's why he could. So if you look back at the freeze frame, his stride is going towards the home plate before, and the ball is going up the right field line. If he strides the other way and he lunges off the bag, like we've seen him dive off the bag many times in the season, just fall into the ground. If he strides that way, he can get the glove onto the ball. It was more so. I'm not saying he was completely terrible, but it wasn't a good read from him at first base.
Oh, I agree.
And it was the first big mistake we've seen Bichette have all year, because I criticized him. I was on the boat with you saying he's not a shortstop. He's a second baseman, hands down. He proved me wrong this year. He actually did take a big step forward on shortstop.
I agree.
My biggest issue with Bichette, with the entire team offensively, is the coaching staff. They want everybody to hit like Bo Bichette. Not everyone can do what Bo Bichette does. He has the best contact rate I have ever seen. He has the best ability to just put the ball in play. We saw it. He had the weirdest swing at an outside slider.
His dad won a batting title, you know that.
Yeah. He had the weirdest swing on an outside slider and pulled it to left field. And that's just because he's such a good pure hitter.
Mm-hmm. And I give him that. Yeah.
The fact that the hitting coaches, the analytics departments, whoever was in charge of this, wanted to change every player's swing 1 through 9 to hit like him was the first main issue. Vlad, great player. Don't get me wrong. He can't do that. There's more on Vlad that I can say. He needs to come into training camp next year in shape. He needs to understand, take care of business a little bit more. It's Bo's team, it's Vlad's team, but they also need to show that they care. Because the 2 big blunders that happened in the game, it was them. It wasn't everybody else.
Yeah.
It was those 2.
Yeah.
And it confuses me why they're trying to change approaches. Vlad is an amazing pull hitter. He has some natural pure power if he pulls the ball. We've seen it. He touches exit velos at 110, 115, like it's just baby food to him.
Yeah.
Dalton Varsho, he hit 27 home runs in a pitcher's ballpark in Arizona. Yes, the elevation's a little bit different where it's easier to hit there, but at the same time, pure pull hitter.
The dome was made for him.
He can be.
But
he can
with
be
the
good.
the changes though, we've
Stop
had this talk.
it.
No. It's become a little bit more of a pitcher's park.
I can't say that until 4 or 5 years down the road.
Exactly. This is too small a sample size.
You need more data.
At the beginning
Early
of the year,
returns though.
Okay, no. Wait here. At the beginning of the year, I said if Varsho doesn't hit 25 home runs, he's a waste of time.
Oh, and
I'm
with you there.
Yes. Okay. So
I'm with you there.
Oh, and what did he hit?
What,
did he hit his weight? Did he hit his weight? He hit his weight. Okay, let's talk about this. I said that right away. If this guy didn't hit 25 home runs, give us 80 RBIs, and be freaking Ken Griffey Jr. out there, he was a failure. I will take Gurriel's defense back, who last year I was making fun.
I would never take Gurriel back ever again.
Oh, yeah.
Dalton Varsho is the best left fielder in all of baseball.
Okay,
he doesn't hit well enough though.
No, and he doesn't get the
because they changed his approach.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little pushback here on some of the things that I seen about our great defense. I find some of our guys just aren't athletic enough to get the balls. The reason that Bowen and doesn't get as many errors is because he can't get to some balls. So if you think that he's improved as a shortstop on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll say improved about 3 to me. Because a lot of balls scooted through the air. I see other shortstops around the league, like the guy that plays for freaking Houston. Watch him today. That kid playing shortstop. The guy that plays for Arizona. Yeah. Those guys go back in the hole. How many times that Chapman comes over and covers for Bo? Because I say Chapman's probably the best.
I said it when they first got Chapman. He's going to make Bo look like a better defender, and that's exactly what he did because he was a platinum.
Of course he did, yeah. And I'm saying now you take Chapman out of there and let's see what's happened. Now this is not a bash Bo day. Okay,
hold on. Let's take it back to the VAR show thing.
Okay,
because I want to talk about that trade again.
Hate it.
Is this Marino? Hold on. Is this the worst trade in Blue Jays history?
No.
Top 5.
No.
What's worse?
Top 5. Come on, bro. Zach, you're not going to try to defend this trade at this table. You're not at the house that happened.
I will say the worst part about that trade is the Moreno part because
absolutely.
That's hands down the worst part, hands down. But again, I'm not faulting Varsho because he did exactly what he was advertised to do. Everybody thinking in their mind that he was just going to come in and replace Teoscar, that's not who he is.
No, I agree.
He's a defense first. He showed that.
Okay,
he showed that he's
at times.
His DSR rate was the best. You can look at all of his defensive numbers. It's amongst the best, if not already the best in the majors.
That's
in
true.
Left field.
That's true.
He had some of the best defensive metrics.
Bag of analytics.
No. He had overall his numbers. He is one of the best defending left fielders.
He's solid. I'll give him that.
That's who he is. I think if he came in and hit like he did in Arizona in the sense of just pull the ball, who gives a rat's ass about poking it down the left field line, hitting it to center field? Screw the big picture.
Yeah.
Because you look in that wild card game, the furthest hit ball was Matt Chapman, but he hit it to dead center field.
I know.
They're trying to use the big part of the field. Screw that.
Yeah.
Brandon Belt made his career pulling fastballs.
Out of the
and look what he did at the Rogers Center. He pulled them. He cleared the wall by a mile.
Yeah.
Varsho needs to go back to just pulling the baseball. You look at his baseball savant page and the numbers of the spread of how he hit baseballs in his last year in Arizona compared to his first year in Toronto. It's just pure pull. He doesn't do any outside pitch. He's pulling that down the right field line, hitting it for a home run.
I got you. See, but here's the other thing I noticed about Toronto. Okay, let's go back a season and a half. We were known as the team that would crush the first pitch. Remember that? We didn't give a shit. We just went up there and the pitcher's going, okay, let's get the game started. Our guys were hacking. So guess what? Around the league, they started saying, you better be careful about these first pitch guys. So they're throwing him a piece of junk, and Vladdy's still taking a hack at it. Diversho taking, well, he's new to it. But these guys are still taking some of those first pitch hacks.
Yeah, and before you know it, they're down 0-2.
0-2 in the box because I found that other pitching staffs adjusted, and we didn't. Like Vladdy, can you just not take a first pitch? Now, the other thing is sometimes he's very impatient. So what happens too is baseball is very cerebral, guys. You know that. So what are you looking for? So then all of a sudden they're throwing first big strikes because the Jays are, like you're saying, changing their approach, and they're guessing at the plate. So now how many 0-2 counts did we see this year? And then guys getting themselves out. That's what killed me about it. So I heard this once, and they're firing the batting coach. Who's ever in charge? I heard they're firing him, and I already heard the guy that's the third base coach. He's retiring.
That's actually sad. Like Luis Rivera, he's actually a really good third base coach. Very, very good infield coach.
Oh, excellent! That's because he was a game when he played.
He was like losing him is actually going to be really devastating.
I think so.
Like same thing. Like Mark Budzinski, the first base coach, he's their outfield coach. I think he's done a phenomenal job. Especially the trauma that he went through this year with losing his child in a boating accident and everything, and still coming back and every day in and out, like helping that squad get better defensively in the outfield. Like we like I said, we talked about the pitching and how good the pitching was this year. This outfield that they had, maybe the best defensive outfield I've ever seen in my years of being a Jays fan. Because Kevin Kiermaier, phenomenal center fielder, platinum glove. If he doesn't win Gold Glove this year, I think there's an issue. Varsho, I hate the fact that he's not going to win Gold Glove in left field because he kept splitting time between center field and left is what pisses me off the most.
Well, I mean, there's an offensive component to that award too, though, which I think could cost him.
And Springer, I think the transition over to right field was just perfect for him because he still for his age, he's very athletic still, and he can still run down the baseball really well. Like we saw him take over 1/2 inning defensively in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Just by
Oh
himself.
no, I've got no beef with Springer whatsoever. I think Springer's just going to be fine. I think there's going to have to be different approaches taken. Number one, like this, I'm going to go and read this press conference nonsense and what Schneider says, because I've always said this year too to Andrew a lot. I said there's a problem in this clubhouse. Did they take away the jacket? Was that the issue? They got no jackets? Is there not enough of his buddies in there? Because it just seemed like the Jays were not having any fun. And what really
None.
And what really drove me crazy, at the beginning of the baseball season, my proclamations were this: play 600 ball at home, 500 on the road. Give me a pitching staff that's going to lead the league in quality
Well, again,
starts.
Cruz, we did the math for that 600, 500 thing. It didn't work out.
No, exactly.
No, but I'm saying like that wouldn't have added to the way that wouldn't have worked out to a division title. It wouldn't have been enough.
We'd
wins.
have to play better. You were
Yeah.
right when you added it
Yeah.
up, because this is what it would have been better. But I'm still saying the pitching part of the game was there. We had 5 guys that made 30 starts. No team in
4
baseball.
guys.
I mean, 4 guys. Sorry,
This-
they had 4
yeah,
guys
this-
that made 30 starts.
This is the best pitching this is the best pitching staff we've seen
In
like
years.
from top to bottom, like your ace
Yeah.
to your closer.
Do you think it was used properly? Is Romano
Yeah.
going to be our closer
I-
going into next year? I said
he
that.
will be.
I heard on
He
this
will
part.
be.
Remember, I thought Swanson would be the guy
Yeah.
by the end of the year. That was my call, because I said Romano was going to run into a brick wall. I think that they should hire Cabrera, and I thought that Cabrera, we didn't even see him in those 2 games. I thought he was one of our best relievers coming down the stretch. Don't you think?
He had a 2 to 3 week stretch where he lost control of his fastball.
Who,
And
Cabrera?
Genesis,
But he had it back a couple games.
That was his issue, and that's why they took him out of high leverage. The thing that's going to suck is the Jays aren't going to re-sign Jordan Hicks.
That's even stupider. If they don't,
Because he what he wants is to be a closer or be a starter. He doesn't want to be a setup guy. And to his point, it's fair, because he's a very good pitcher. You know, he was just in a very bad market and a very bad team that don't know how to fix pitching. Like
Is that
St.
St.
Louis,
Louis?
St. Louis has the worst pitching lab I've ever seen.
Well, here's what I would say about them. They rank as top 5 or maybe top 3 biggest disappointment in baseball this year, no doubt about it. The fact that we stole this Hicks guy, this is what I don't understand about
And
all
Cabrera.
that. And Cabrera, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand about these thinking. We are Toronto Blue Jays, owned by Rogers. Give these guys the money. We got Pete Walker. Why has Pete Walker been on the team for 20 years?
Oh, this is amazing.
There you go. So he can take time to fix these guys.
It's Pete Walker, and then I can't remember. I hate the fact I can't remember his name, but they have an advanced scout.
Yeah, I know. I heard about him too.
He is the best pitching lab guy that I've ever seen in the business. He turned around. Cabrera was one of the worst control pitchers I've ever seen from the left side.
And
I
now
loved
look
him
when
on
he
St.
came.
Louis. I thought if a team took him and was able to fix him, he'd be amazing. He was amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why now you're going to say, okay, we got the issue with Hicks, okay? Is he going to sign with us or not? You're already saying he's going to be out of town. Pad the payroll. Keep him here. Don't you want a guy?
Well,
that got
if
103
Well,
sometimes.
but if
He's
the
topped
guy's saying he
103.
wants to be a starter or closer, that's just not going to happen here.
Money changes everything. Hey, the guy's only what, 26, 28?
27 or 28.
Okay,
But
so he's got
I agree.
years left.
I
Just
would-
say, hey, you're going to get your chance, buddy. Here's your money. You're going to get because they do it like a Bo and Vladdy. They got that extra money early, so they would deal with that. The
I've
Blue
never
Jays do
trusted
that.
Romano like that. I've never I've
Who's-
never once trusted Romano.
Does he know who he's talking to?
Yeah.
Oh, you never trusted Romano?
I've always
I don't
had
even open the car door for him.
I've always had an issue, and people I got back. Again, I work at the Rogers Center for this. This was my second year, and all my coworkers why do you always bash on him? Why are you always hating on him? I'm like, listen, he's a good pitcher. He just doesn't utilize his 2 pitches properly, and until he does that, that's when he'll be a closer.
I think he's past that because sometimes I don't know how his usage gets weird.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? I don't get that.
If he
so
is
maybe
able-
that's the problem too.
Yeah, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. He has an elite fastball that touches 99. He has a really good slider that he can manipulate to either drop like a 12-6 or cut out of the zone. And if he's able, the issue with Romano is he'll go into a mode where he'll throw 5, 6, 7 straight sliders, and then he'll lose the grip for the fastball, and it'll be missing high.
Well,
away, missing high
I think
inside.
my thing about Romano, it's interesting you said that. When that breaking ball is not working, he's done because I don't really think he has an elite fastball. He's got a good one, but guys catch up to how many times they've gone yard. They sat on that fastball. It's a souvenir.
Yeah.
Like if it was 2 or 3 miles faster, I would give him that. Hicks is 2 or 3 miles per hour faster. I think that, of course, he doesn't have Romano's control, but I mean, that's a Pete Walker take on it, don't you think?
I want them to bring back Hicks. It's not gonna. Cabrera's here for another 2 years. I think he has arbitration years. But yeah, it sucks because Hicks is gonna want a lot of money. The Jays aren't gonna fork that up.
Oh, then they should. So who do we got in the bullpen that we've got under contract? Romano, Swanson, Cabrera,
Meza.
Meza too, and
by the way,
Yimi
Tim
Garcia.
Meza, underrated year,
misused,
but most like a very underrated year. I think he had a 1.5 ERA.
Yep.
From the left side, honestly, like I was very hit or miss with Meza, but he turned me around very quickly this year and had a very good year.
Now we're going to bring him back. So shouldn't he get into more higher leverage roles next year? Because remember early in the year he did. Remember we were seeing him, and then all of a sudden he disappeared.
He should be. It depends. It all depends with Cabrera.
So who's running this pitching staff?
Well, hold on. Let's keep with guys coming back next year. Because there's a few more too. Because Chad Green.
Chad Green is back for another year.
Yeah, it's a team option. I imagine they're gonna
take it.
Yeah,
they're gonna take it. He pitched really well down the stretch.
Who am I missing?
Trevor Richards is the back as well. No, he's back.
He's had an up and down year. I liked him a lot, but he had an up and down. But I think they should bring him back too.
Is Garcia going to be back?
I'm not sure if he has one more year of his deal or not.
I don't like him too much.
Okay, well, he's kind of. I tried to defend him. I don't do much of that lately. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be there, and we're going to have the starters. Now, the only big question is this, okay? Before we get on, because there's the elephant in the room we haven't got to, which we'll get to in a second. When we go around the diamond, my biggest bitch is this, and Steve, maybe you can help me out with this, is like, we never had the same lineup every day. You know what I mean? We got to start saying who's our regulars in there. I think we wasted Espinal. He's a guy of mine there, but I will never know because I
want to get to that. Your prediction about him in the season, Zach, I got to say you were right.
You were, and I'm a bitch because remember I was the guy that was like pumping his tires huge. But maybe we misuse him, or maybe he leaves town. So, like, you go around the diamond.
Maybe he's not that good.
Maybe he's not. We don't know. We're not going to get a chance because we got questions like this. The number one thing to me is, okay, we're going to have the same outfield as next year. Then
I don't think Kiermaier's coming back.
Okay, that's the question. You know what? I'm not a Kiermaier fan.
It's okay. Cody Bellinger, you're a Toronto Blue Jay.
Let's go for it. That's what I'm saying.
I want Bellinger.
So why don't we do that? Because I don't think it's 50-50 he's going to stay. We'll bring that up this spring. We got money.
Yeah, because he had the bounce back year in Chicago.
Huge bounce back year. No, you know what I mean? And now his contract's up, right?
Yep, because he only signed it 1 year.
So why don't we just take a little shot at that guy?
Oh, just throw the drinks truck at him.
Oh, no problem. Because you know what?
You got a great defender. You got a guy who can also fill in at first base if needed.
Exactly.
And then you get an outfielder and you get a good power hitter too.
Oh,
left-handed bat.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, his swing at the Dome, that's a 40 home run season out of that guy. When you think about it,
Bellinger's a good player. And
I don't know what happened.
I wanted him last. It's because his injury was I think it was a shoulder or something. It was
a misdiagnosis, and I heard, and then everybody got into a pissing match about it. And then it was like a Jack Eichel thing in baseball, but he ended up being right because look at the season he had.
Yeah, it was more so he lost strength in his I think it was shoulder. I can't remember, but it was whatever muscle. He lost strength in it, and he couldn't build it back up. And so I guess after a couple more years, he did more rehab and all that. And he was finally able to start building back up, and that's why we finally saw him have a really good season.
Yeah, because it affected his swing.
Yeah,
it was all
that's what it was.
It
was affecting the path and plane of his swing.
Yeah, and that's what it was going to be there. But in any event, I'm going to say the one thing that and you hear it around the city in good, bad, and ugly, and I'm going to say this. I was a huge Vladdy guy. When he came up, I loved this guy from day one. I loved his dad. That's why. I loved his dad so much that I'm loving this guy. I'm going to tell you right now, if I could get, when it comes to the winter meetings coming up in December, I'm looking around for even more pitching and a power-hitting left-handed bat, and I'm shipping Vladdy out because I believe now that him and management something's wrong in the clubhouse.
Well, you got to have a sit-down with him. Before you just
what
ship
if he
him
says go fuck yourself?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's establish that before we ship him out of town.
Okay, well, I'm starting to smell it. Okay, I'll tell you this much. The only difference between you guys and me, and you've been around long enough, is that I've been watching baseball for 50 years, guys. When you smell like this guy, he either got to change or you get him out of town.
And
so we're waiting too long on him, like, oh, well, maybe Vladdy's going to come around. Look at last season. We had some of these questions, and now they've been compounded. Are we going to do them for another year?
But let's also remember, like, we saw what he can do. We know he has the tools. A lot of Yeah, but you have to also remember a lot of Jays fans.
Jesse Litch.
He's also 24 years old.
So is Ricky Romero.
You're comparing pitchers.
Well, anyway, players that didn't stay around long enough that we gave them the money. You know what? I thought Vladdy was going to be great. Right now, if we got a great offer,
I think he still can be.
He can.
Oh, he should be at 24.
still can be.
He should hit 300 every year.
But like you look at this the first like 2/3 of the season that he had. He was leading the league in exit velo, launch angle, all those things that show like this guy's an elite hitter. More so. Again, I think this year's especially, and that's why I'm not putting any critique on the hitters. I'm putting it all on the hitting staff, the hitting coaches, and all that.
But you're supposed to make your own adjustments too, bro.
Yeah, but if you have a hitting coach breathing down your neck and people coming up to you with iPads and everything, saying, "Oh, you're doing this wrong. Switch this." When you're at the plate, you're going to be in your head.
Yeah,
and I think that's what happens majority of the time with these hitters. Ross Atkins, he also said at the press conference, Vlad's going to be down all winter in Florida, training, working out. I think if you get a commitment level from Vlad where he's actually given a shit now, being like, listen, I tried to half-ass it last season at a point, and it didn't work. Look at Manoah. You know,
he's the elephant in the room. We're going to get to him.
Yeah, he half-assed it.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out well.
So here's my point, though, is I'm not now. I'm going.
Make it quick because we're already an hour here. I want to wrap up this Blue Jays segment.
Okay. Anyway, well, that's because we're all angry, guys. We didn't expect it to go this way. That's why we're all pissed and we're yakking about it. My theory is this: everything that you said about all of that stuff, when I was your age, that really didn't matter. So I'm going back to what I'm saying. I think it's too analytics-filled stuff that they don't care about the moment. At that moment in time, it's not about the analytics. It's about the guy, his heart, his gut. Where is he at? That's not got nothing to do with analytics. How many times in baseball, we'll go back in history where they did things that was anti-analytics, but a Sparky Anderson or Earl Weaver or what's the guy that Chuck Tanner or Terry Francona had a feel about the moment and went this way and it changed. We're losing that in baseball, guys. That's going out the window, so we're losing those moments.
My thing is you're filling up these people's heads with too much information. It's overload. Because if you ignore analytics outright, I'm sorry, you're a
insane.
fool.
I got you.
You're behind the eight ball. You're going to lose a lot.
Yeah.
But you have to it's up to the analytics department to be okay, this is what we're going to fire at the guys. This is what we want to show them. Instead of telling them a million things, you should be breaking it down to three.
Great.
Important things that they should be looking for, right? So
yeah. I think
I'm not. We get out of here.
The analytics.
This is him and I fight. Okay.
The analytics department should be more in touch with, the sports psychology department, how to get the message across. You know.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Because I'm not totally anti-analytics. Because like he said, if I am, I'm a dinosaur. Come on, man, you got to be an idiot not to respect what's going on. But it's very interesting, some of the things that I grew up on that are iconic moments that you see in baseball, when they show all those highlights and stuff. Some of those moves are totally anti-analytics. You know what I mean? They said they felt a moment and says going there. And that's what scares me about baseball, because when I was a kid, it was still my favorite sport. Like I said, I'm going to go home today and I'm going to watch every guy. I haven't missed it because I've been off work. I haven't missed an inning. I haven't missed a pitch. I love baseball, but I'm not loving the way that they're presenting it to me, except for the fact that the games got shorter.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one last thing I'll say about Vlad is I think his gut is still, his heart is still in the city. He proves it. He always says he loves Toronto.
Oh, yeah. That's...
you've shown that how good you are. This year coming up, it's going to be your age 25 season. The key word is you're just going to start entering into the prime years. Show me the love that you have for the city. Show me the commitment you have to the Blue Jays, and show me that you want to be here and you want to win. Because he said it, he hasn't backed it up. Well, this is it now. Do it in this offseason. Prove it to me.
Now I want to go around the table. We'll start with our guests, Steven and Zack. I want to hear final thoughts on the Blue Jays season. Just kind of sum it up, and then what you're looking for in 2024. Steven.
Well, my final thoughts on the Blue Jays for this year, definitely underwhelming. They didn't live up to our preseason expectations. I think that's for sure. But I mean, as the season went on, through April and May, I think this was kind of the result that we were going towards always. They were inconsistent. They didn't look like they can get it done, and here they were. They got swept in the wild card round by a team that hadn't won a a playoff series since like what
2002.
Moneyball against the Moneyballos.
Exactly.
Baby.
Yeah. Hasn't won a game since 2004 in the playoffs. Like ended that 18-game losing streak. So, good for the Twins, but yeah, bad for the Jays. As for in 2024, what I'm looking forward to, just hopefully being better, like just getting 90 wins and fighting for a division rather than being in this wild card race like all like late in the year, and yeah, just not making it less stressful on the fans. Basically, that'd be nice.
That would be.
Oh,
Zach.
Yeah. I mean, I guess underwhelming. But I think the main part of the underwhelming is just the offense and again defense, pitching. I'll always stand on the hill that wins championships. You have a good like that. The Jays had it good, but I just think the offense obviously outweighed it a little bit more this year. Vlad, Bo, prove to me, like, you know what, this offseason to the next season, this is the biggest prove it years that I'm going to see from Bo and Vlad of, do you belong in Toronto? Do you want to be in the city? Do you want to bring something back to the city? That's what I'm going to see. For 2024, it's just more so continue this style of good defense and good pitching, because I think the Jays have one of the, if not the best pitching labs in all of MLB. They've proved it. Go out there, add a couple more stars to your lineup, add a couple more good arms to your rotation, to your bullpen. Just go out and compete. Just make it fun for fans. That's it. Like, at the end of the day, like, fans don't want to go to the Rogers Center and expect the same outcome every day. It wants to be a little bit of a spark, a little bit of just like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen today. That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hoping to see in 2024.
Cruz.
Well, I just look at it this way, and I harped on it all year, and I'm going to say it. Something went wrong in the clubhouse. I'm saying that, Sarah, if you don't have a good clubhouse, you don't have a good team. It doesn't matter if you have 20-game starters or whatever, or best defense or whatever. I just think that something went on in the dressing room, because last year it looked like Toronto was the most fun team in baseball. Remember they used to talk about that? Toronto Blue Jays, them boys are having fun. And then someone said they were having too much fun. And then they changed some kind of dichotomy that something was going wrong, and then you could almost smell it, because nobody wants to say it, because it became, whose team is it? Is it Bo's or it's Vladdy's? And I don't like that argument, because I'd like both guys to stay here. But I seen a serious regression in what was going on a disciplined team that's no longer disciplined. They didn't know how to hit in scoring position. They didn't play situational baseball. And they had everything that I wanted, which was my quality starts, guys that could close, and every formula that I said at the beginning of the season that should win went right out the window, and we missed on it. So if I want to see what's going on in 2024, I want someone to take charge of that clubhouse. I don't know who it is, guys, but someone's got to change in the clubhouse. I don't care if we bring back the jacket. I don't care if, like all that kind of stuff, which is fun but is a little bit frivolous. What I want to really see is clean up the dugout and hope we have no regression in our pitching staff, because everyone's got one more year older. So we can't guarantee we're going to have 4 guys with 30 starts. We can't guarantee, you know what I mean? We haven't played an ounce here. Do we have the foundation? Yes. But after hearing this and going to hear this Aikens nonsense at the press conference and what we've seen on the field, guys, we got some cleaning up to do. That's all the best. What do you got to say, Mr. Milani?
Well, this was, I've alluded to this in that video that I posted the night they got eliminated.
Good video, by the way. You
Thank
represented the house that happens. Everybody see that video? Go see it, but go ahead. Continue.
I've just never experienced a winning season for the Blue Jays that has been so fucking miserable. Not one Jays fan I knew was optimistic, despite being like, what do we get, 89 wins?
Yep.
Like, what the fuck's that about? I know I've already dropped F word a couple times here, but god damn it, like this was horrible. Yep. Like hitting base running errors, just like everything you could imagine. Okay, the team fielded a little better. Great. Benoit, like, you were a bitch this year.
Oh my
Grow
God.
up, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know, just so frustrating. Like, I mean, they really got to, and I loved what Bo Bichette said at the end of the season, where he's like, top down, the organization needs to reflect on what happened. And that's exactly what needs to happen. Because everyone, I don't know if they were like getting high on their own supply or
maybe
what was going on, but I mean, Atkins and Chaparro, I think, definitely overplayed their hand.
Huge.
They thought that they had more hitting than they eventually did to cover up, I'm still saying it, that Varsho Moreno Gurriel trade. That's the worst trade in Jays history.
Should have been Kirk and Gurriel.
Yeah, I don't think they would have wanted Kirk though. That was the problem.
Yeah, just should have been.
It should have been one up. I don't understand why it was never.
It's looking like it should have been Jansen as the odd man out now, given his injury problems.
Why was Varsho considered so much? Gurriel for Varsho would have made sense to me. It was Teoscar for Swanson.
Yeah.
That trade worked out
Yeah,
fine.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a one-on-one. So why do we have to throw in the extra guy?
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the end of last year. I was like, one of those guys has to go. I was shocked that they got rid of both of them.
Oh, we agreed on that. We knew one of them had to go.
Yeah.
That was a gimme.
But, I mean, into next year, I mean, just tighten it up. I mean, guys in the organization, guys in the organization just have to get on the same page here. And, I mean, you need another power bat, I would say.
Left-handed.
Ideally.
Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, there we go. We're on the same page.
Okay, who's picking him up at the airport? The house.
Me and you.
Yeah,
We'll all get there together.
Yeah, we'll drive down and pick him up.
But 2024 Blue Jays, I want to go down to Florida to see spring training.
That's a good idea.
Don't disappoint me.
There you go. Do you think we'll have a? Do you think this will help us move forward, or we'll have a fall back? You see, Zach, you watch a lot of baseball.
So
we're in a
tough to say.
precarious situation here. We got to the door. It looked like we were supposed to do more. The thing is, you bust through or you fall back.
Well,
That's
when's the next
scary.
time? When's the next time that the Yankees and Red Sox are going to be bad in the same season again?
Red Sox will be back a lot sooner.
Yep.
So I was going to bring this up. I think it's like Shane Bloom was their GM. They fired him, which I think was the stupidest thing they've ever done.
Red Sox?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
wow.
Red Sox fired him.
Yep.
If I was the Jays, I'm like, James Click, who was the former manager of the Astros, he takes over for Atkins. Boom takes over for Shapiro. We hire Gabe Kapler as our manager.
Oh, what a move! I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, all those guys got fired this year, and I'm like, these are good, like, smart pieces in
But
management.
don't you know that Shapiro and Akins are bean counters? They came from Cleveland.
Yeah.
I thought with the bigger payroll, they'd be more expansive.
That was the
now
idea.
you know what I mean? But now what do?
We will see. We'll see this offseason has a lot of.
But we got
big
the
free
fan
agent names.
experience. We got the changing at the Dome where the attendance went up. So when they sit down at the table at the end of the year and Rogers looks at the frickin' commerce side of things, they're going to say, Mr. Akins, Mr. Shapiro, you did a fine job. What did that do for the fans?
Yep.
Anyways,
We'll
I
see.
think we should go on.
I mean, we didn't have as much time to talk about the other series, but let's do our predictions for ALDS NLDS, which starts today. Let's start in the American League side as the Minnesota Twins will go into Houston for a 5-game series. I'm saying Houston. They've been my pick pretty much for the last half of the season to go to the World Series for the American League. I'm sticking to it.
What are you saying, kid?
Yeah, I'll take Houston
I'll
as well.
say Houston in 4.
I'm gonna go Houston, but the only way I see Minnesota go through is if their bullpen keeps up.
I'm looking at Minnesota for the upset because as it goes, when you win the first round, you usually go farther. And guess what? The Houston bullpen and the Houston starting pitching has been up and down coming down the stretch. We've seen them all play each other. Mm-hmm. Nobody was a barn burner. Seattle, even though Texas has seemed to righted the ship at the moment. I'm picking Minnesota, and it goes 5.
So Twins in 5, Astros in 4. Steven, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll go Astros in 4 as well.
I'll take Astros in 5. I think the bats are just better.
Okay. I think they're going to be able to hit their way out of
Yeah.
a lot of trouble, too. Baltimore versus the Texas Rangers, number 1 seed versus the number 5.
This is the most interesting matchup.
I 100% agree because Baltimore, this is their first real test. Texas, for a while, they were looking like world beaters, kind of fell back down to earth towards the end of the season. However, a lot of good starting pitching. Their bullpen a little shaky. So that's where kind of trouble begins. And Baltimore, one of the best clutch hitting teams this season as well. I've been going back and forth all week about this one.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
I think we're going to see an upset here.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're going to see an upset.
You're taking Texas.
Texas in 5.
Oh, Steven, what do you say?
I agree. It's going 5. I'm still like just debating within myself who takes it though. Like, I want to say Baltimore because they're just a fun team to watch, and I want to see them just play more games in this postseason. But again, I do feel like Texas they just have what it takes, and yeah, I'll say Texas in 5 as well.
A united front from the brothers.
Okay, what?
So I'm actually on board with the Texas train, and here I actually have a good reasoning behind it. Baltimore, they have the young, pure hitters. Obviously, I think that's the part that carries their team. They have one of the worst starting rotations in all of baseball, and that was going to continue to be their kryptonite because in the playoffs, there is no bad team. You're facing very good lineups. You're facing very good veteran hitters. Look at Marcus Semien. Look at Corey Seager, who's going to be
Semien.
Look, Seager's going to be the MVP this year. You look at Nathaniel Lau. You look at their rookie Evan White, who's hitting the ball, the cover up everything.
Good looking player.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Texas, just because of the ability they have with the offense and the pitching that Baltimore has, Texas takes it in 4.
Okay, I got something different here to say. First of all, I said Tampa Bay, the first one's gone because they do that stupid thing with their pitching and they're out the door. Another thing I believe, when you limp into the playoffs, you limp out. Did you see Texas in the last freaking 30 games? What are they, 12-18 or something? They beat up on a shit team anyway. I think Baltimore has got that calmness about them. They have the same manager that were there where they were losing.
Are you calling Tampa Bay a shit team?
I'm calling them, I hate them, and you know it. But
they won 99 games.
I don't give a shit. They're gone. I told you they'd be gone in the first round. That's my only good call. I said Tampa be out the door, quick as could be. And, oh, gee, what was that blink? Tampa leaving town. Texas is going out too because I'm not saying that they're going to go I think that Texas limped into the playoffs. They were in first place for 100 days, and what did they do? They screwed up at the end. So I'm saying Baltimore, who's been and by the way, Steven, I hate Baltimore with a passion.
That's
I've
right.
hated these guys since I went to high school. I'm calling Baltimore to win and win it quick.
How many
3-4. It won't go 5. Won't go 5.
Okay.
So I'm taking Baltimore.
Moving on to the National League. A division matchup here is the Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are going to beat up on little brother here. I think it's Dodgers in 4.
Yeah, I'll even say Dodgers sweep.
Wow.
Ooh,
See, I'm going to have fun with it because Arizona actually interests me a lot.
me too.
And I love the Diamondbacks this season.
Yeah.
I should preface that.
I think if Corbin Carroll continues to do what he's been doing, and Ketel Marte as well, if those two can keep carrying that lineup with the additions they've had, Evan Longoria is still over there cooking as well.
Best play in the series. All the baseball, that play at third base. Best play.
You can never count out Zack Gallen.
Nope.
He
I
is
love
so
him.
good.
I love
I'm taking Diamondbacks in 5.
Whoa.
I can't go there. I think Diamondbacks are going to impress you. I think they're going to like say, "Hey, look at this." Like they're going to come. They're not going to go home. They're not going to like just go away. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Smith. Who am I? Go down the lineup, and their pitching's good enough. What might kill Dodgers, and we won't see just the week after they're older, is their bullpen is suspect. That's what I'm saying. But if they're front running,
They've also lost their best starting pitcher. Kershaw's still there, but like Julio Urias, he's not there anymore because of the allegations.
Might
and
not pitch
everything.
again.
well,
Exactly.
no, he's gone. If it comes over, he's gone to the same place as Franco in Tampa Bay. They're gone to the
I
same
shouldn't
place.
be laughing.
But he's going to where he's going. Where's that guy? He's a wisp in the wind, and they deserve to be wisp in the wind. Now, at the house that happens, as soon as we hear shit like that, you're gone. We don't even. As soon as we hear it, you're gone. We don't even say your name anymore because there's no level of that. But that's not what we're talking about.
So who are you taking?
I'm taking the Dodgers. I got
And how
to
many?
because I'm not sure, but probably 4, maybe 5. I think Arizona's scrappy enough, but I just think
you're on the fence with stop being a fencer. Just
No.
choose how many games.
I think it's going to be over in 4. Dodgers. The
Okay.
Dodgers, but I'll take the Dodgers.
And lastly, so we said Baltimore. That series is the most interesting. I take it back. I think this is going to be the most interesting series.
I think so, too.
Atlanta, Philadelphia, a rematch of the NLDS from last year. 2 of the top contenders in the National League. Also a division battle between these two teams. You know they freaking hate each other. Atlanta, the number 1 seed, maybe the best team in baseball, but Philly, they are a scrappy bunch. I think this is going the distance. I think this goes 5 games. I think the Braves get a little bit of revenge this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Especially with Max Fried coming back to pitch, scheduled
He's
to start
pitching
game 2
right?
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 5 games as well, but I'm going Phillies. Phillies are actually my World Series pick. So
Right on,
Yeah.
buddy. Right on.
So
Don't ask Cruz for his American League World Series pick, by the way.
What? We weren't talking about that. Let's talk about the weather.
So I actually think whoever wins this series will win the World Series. This is fair.
That's my call.
Yeah.
That's my call.
That's how I see it because these two teams, playoff Harper is scary. Trey Turner coming back to life when needed is terrifying. The fact Kyle Schwarber was the worst statistical hitter, but still hit over 100 RBIs is scary.
He kicks the shit out of analytics. He kills analytics.
No, but he's also like an analytics guy because he like is one of those guys that gets a ton of strikeouts but a ton of home runs.
Yeah, it's really weird.
He's quickly become one of my favorite players.
I wanted
Chicago when they were in Chicago a few years ago.
I nicknamed him Shore Daddy for a reason.
Yeah,
right?
he's always had that whatever about him. You know what I mean? Which is good. And I hear he's amazing in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Which is huge in baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sorry, Zach, continue.
So all of that, I think it's going to be scrapped. It's going 5 regardless. I'm leaning towards the Braves, though. You have a guy who's broken records this year in Ronald Acuña Jr. They had 5-6 players hit over 30 home runs. This offense is insane. Matt Olson fits too perfectly in that organization. Austin Riley is going to be a dog for the rest of his career, and then you just
got
have
that dog in him,
basically. Yeah. And then you have Ronald Acuña Jr. who just occasionally swiped 70 bags just for the fun of it.
Oh, come on!
You cannot say overrated.
No one else in the league is doing.
The base stealing is overrated.
No one else in the league's doing that cruise.
70-40 season.
Insane.
Yeah,
One day we'll talk about it. I told you at the beginning of the season, I discussed this whole base running thing, and it didn't get as crazy as I did.
It's also,
but I called this would happen.
He's also did this after tearing his ACL.
Oh no, I give him credit for that. No, Atlanta's a good team.
I think the Braves take it in 5. It's just their offense is too good.
Okay, there's one guys you never even noticed this. Okay, remember go back to Philadelphia. They had one of the worst starts ever. What was it? May 1st, they were 9 games under 500. Since June 1st, they've been the best team in baseball. Best record in baseball is the Phillies. They've got some kind of moxie about them. Number one thing is what do they have up the middle? Catching, second base, shortstop, and center field have played 20 games together? It's something insane. Most of any team in baseball, and what is the core of your baseball team? Catcher, second base, shortstop, center fielder, up the middle. I think only Baltimore has the same amount of games. Dodgers are close. And all those teams that have had that configuration are now where? In the playoffs playing. So I'm saying not only that, I think that the Wheeler and the other kid that pitches for Philly, I'm worried about Philly's bullpen a bit too. But guess what? I'm worried about Atlanta's bullpen too. Okay, like they're both bullpens. There's nobody in there. They're bringing out Kimbrel still in Philly, and what's his name in Atlanta? They got none of either team can come out with a guy that you're going to say he's going to just blow everybody by, swing and miss, and let's get out of here. Neither team has that guy, which they say you need in the World Series. So it's going to be moxie and intangibles, not analytics, that win this series. And I'm saying Philly takes it in 5 and goes on and wins the World Series.
Ooh, spicy.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Live by the dinger, die by the dinger.
That's what you do.
That's what I'm seeing with the Braves. You have 5 guys hit 30-plus home runs?
I'm going with their history.
Murderers row.
I'm going with their history. They're really, really good in the season, and then what happens? They disappear. But I've got my theory. I wish you would have known that about stealing bases this year. I'm not impressed. Not one bit. I mean, I'm impressed with putting it to 7, but I'm not impressed. I expected someone. I expected someone to get higher.
I expected it to be up. Like people get like around 40 and all that. I wasn't expecting like 70.
Well, out of him, yeah. I thought a couple other guys should have did more, but they didn't hit as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, there should have been more. But anyways, we got the baseball going on. We got to get on because we're running way deep.
Yeah, so we'll take it from America's pastime to America's monolith, going into the NFL. So one thing,
yay,
we're
football.
We're basically at the quarter mark of the season. So one thing we want to discuss is who's our power rankings, top 5 teams in the NFL.
Okay, so guys, since you're here today, you're going to help us with the power rankings, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to concede at the end of this that we're all Howard Cosell, Troy Aikman, and whoever combined, because we know that much about football, okay?
Soon to be Tom Brady when he's on Fox next year.
Yeah, Brady's the best. You know what's coming on?
You're talking to 2 Patriots fans right here.
You know, I'm a Michigan guy, so I knew him well before. So want me to give you the first power rankings?
Well, I was going to say, I guess we'll have our own, and then we'll have like our consensus one that we'll come in with at the end. So, Cruz, you said you already have yours ready to go?
I got mine ready to go. So I'm going to look at it this way. First thing I said, guys, when we made our proclamation, Zack, see, you guys weren't here, I said, the biggest thing about the NFL is starting off the season making predictions is bullshit because we don't know about injuries. We got to see them on the field. Everything's on paper, and football is more like that than any other sport, okay? Mm-hmm. So I said, what we should, and nothing good comes after, but we should be able to go after. This is like, and all coaches go 4-game samples, and then they got that wild card game at the end, so to speak. So I'm going to go like this. After 4 games, it appears to me that the best teams in the NFL start with the San Francisco 49ers is the best team in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. The second best team in the NFL, I think, is the Buffalo Bills. I'll take them at number 2. They are still undefeated at 3. I'm taking the defending NFC Conference Championships. Philadelphia is the 3rd best team. The 4th best team is the defending Super Bowl champions themselves, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I still believe that they're going to win a 2nd Super Bowl in a row once the season goes on. And my 5th pick in this power poll, and it kills me to say it, and I think it might be overrated because everyone's waiting for me to say the Detroit Lions, but it's got to be the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
That's my 5.
Steven, who's your top 5?
So at number 1, I also have the 49ers. Number 2, I think that's where I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. I'm not going to say boo.
Number 3, we'll go Eagles. 4, Bills. And number 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I thought we weren't letting them in today, bro. How did that happen? We had a Dallas Cowboy in here? I thought we had a rule. Didn't we tell you guys in advance? I guess you obviously know what I'm thinking about the Dallas Cowboys. We had a Dallas Cowboy in here? Security.
I did not know about this, I will say.
Okay, you got the rules. We'll let you get away with this time. Dallas
Zack.
Cowboys.
So my top 5 right now, start off San Fran, obviously number 1.
Yep.
I throw Philly at number 2, like what they've put out. Buffalo's sitting at 3. And then Miami's in my 4. I'm liking what they're doing, and I got KC at 5.
Okay. So I'll start off with the San Francisco 49ers at number 1. So that's obviously our consensus number 1. I got the Eagles at number 2. I got Kansas City at number 3. The Dallas Cowboys at number 4.
Oh, my God. Traitor.
And I have the Buffalo Bills at number 5.
So I guess we're going to have to say the house that happens, definitely the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, hence
Unanimous.
unanimous.
And I do have to think that we have to have Philly. Philly and the Chiefs seem to be the other 2 teams that seem to go in there. So we'll take Philly as 2 and the Chiefs as 3. Now
Buffalo was on all of our lists as well, correct?
Yes.
I was Buffalo,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Buffalo.
they'd be our number 4 then.
Okay.
And then Miami, Dallas. That's
Oh my God! And I hate, but this is pathetic. How did we get here?
So where did Dallas rank on? So that was my 4. They were your 5.
Yeah.
And then where was Miami for you?
Miami was my 4.
They were my 5.
Okay, so so obviously it's going to have to be a fight to the death to decide.
Okay, here we go. Okay,
All right, bring the chairs.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to look at it this way. Here's how we're going to. Maybe this will help to decide or not. You can just tell me I'm crazy. I always look at strength of schedule and who you played so far. Okay, so what I'm saying about Dallas is Dallas beat up on a bunch of freaking tin cans.
That's true.
Okay, who did Dallas play? The New
I'm
York
pulling up
Giants. Pittsburgh.
Miami got past some pretty weak opponents too.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that they did play some teams that looked a little more competitive. The Chargers, maybe the Chargers are better than because they had a tough battle with Miami. Who else did Miami play? New England, who almost shut them down, which was proving, like, even though the last team might put that out the window, but at least New England could compete with them.
Right. That's why I put Dallas on my list and not Miami because Dallas had that one hiccup against the Cardinals, but every other game they've looked very strong.
Yeah, but so did Miami, so to speak.
Miami with that week 1 game against the Chargers, they didn't look too strong.
I mean, Miami has played strong all year, and then they ran into Buffalo, who I think
A real team.
Like Miami has Buffalo just has the best defense besides San Fran that I've ever seen. You know.
What about the vaunted Dallas Cowboy defense? That's what I'm saying. Philadelphia, let's not believe them. They're going to take a while for their to get on because you got to give Philadelphia really credit because they're 4-0. They played a lot of tough teams, and
they're coming off the Super Bowl too.
Coming off the Super Bowl, changed their offensive coordinator, changed their defensive coordinator, lost 4 starters on their defense, and they're taking a period of time for adjustment. Agreed?
Yep.
So I'm saying that Philadelphia is definitely they're in the running. They're a great team. Guys, what have you thought about the football season so far?
It's been okay.
Okay. On what level?
The games are starting to get entertaining now.
Okay, we're getting to our point here. One of the things that we said here that really bothers me about football, but you can't even deny this because of the gambling, fantasy football, betting, blah, 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 is that because they take away less during the camps and the hitting and stuff, the first 3 games of the year are pretty freaking awful. And the Thursday night games will even be more putrid. Okay,
We have a news bit coming down from the House That Happens Newswire.
Okay.
The Colts and Jonathan Taylor agree to a 3-year deal worth $42 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting because maybe they're going to get back to the fact that you need a goddamn running back.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe that's going to come true. Oh, by the way, now that we're here, because we've already made our prognostications what's going on, I think that we should just take a look at the league because we're running a little late, aren't we?
Yeah, so do you want to just do our Week 5 picks?
We'll do our week. No, we should make a quick run through very fastly through the divisions really quickly because it would be...
I don't know if we have time for that.
Okay, can I just say one thing if you can't deny this? If you had told me at the beginning of the season that the AFC South would have 4 teams at 2-2, I would have said, what are you smoking? Is it fentanyl or is it crack? Do you see that division? Let's see who's in the division this time.
But I mean, is that enough to get ahead of ourselves? I mean, it's 2-2. That's...
I'm not saying that I'm saying
it's not much.
What it expected was Jacksonville to rise up and take that division home. I expected all those teams you chase around in survivor pools because they'd all be garbage. And we have some
Well, Houston's the surprise that they're not total garbage.
I was gonna say the fact. So I'm just looking at it. The differential for points for, points against. Houston has plus 17. Everybody's sitting around either -2 or +2.
Yeah.
Houston's been the...
Oh, yeah, and then C.J.
Stroud is insane.
And
He's so good. Bringing in Dalton Schultz as his tight end is only going to work for him. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, those two are at wide receiver. Like this, they set up good, and then they also got Will Anderson Jr.
Oh, their defense, Houston's defense is what's keeping them in the game, but so is Tennessee's. That's what's surprising me. Like these teams can play some defense. Like Tennessee, they would be better, except their offense was really shaky at the beginning. So if you leave your defense on the field all day, eventually they're going to score on you. But I'm saying that's a scary division. There's 2 good defenses that nobody's talking about, Houston and Tennessee. Jacksonville, could they be frauds?
It's trending that way.
What do you think's going away? We're going to get our picks right now for the Sunday. Any other things?
But I will say this about the South. I don't think any of those teams capture a wild card seed. I think you got to win this division.
But I'm still saying I'm surprised that I didn't. I thought it would be a weaker division in exponentially win wise. To see all teams at 2-2, I think is one of the big surprises of the NFL. And I'm just going to say one more thing before we pick, and it's just 2 words, and I want everyone to listen closely because it's going to be a factor this year, and that's Detroit Lions, baby. Detroit Lions, baby.
It's 3 words.
Okay, Detroit Lions won pride.
Lions.
Oh, by the way,
don't forget baby.
Baby, yes.
By the way,
if you do baby, you can make that 2 words, so it's like 5 words almost.
5 words right there after saying 2.
Stephen and Zack, I know that Andrew is well aware of this, but you understand my relationship with the Detroit Lions, do you?
To an extent,
I believe I do, yes.
Yeah, okay, so just don't call me a fan of the Detroit Lions. I get irritated. Very much. You keep it on disciple level at all times. Okay? Do not call me a fan of the Detroit Lions. I will get irritated. When you say I'm a disciple and I ride and I take care of the bandwagon, we're good. Because the Lions are going to do something and they're going to crush tomorrow. If you're the survivor pick, take the Lions. They got Carolina at home. We're going to do the picks right now. Okay, we're going to do the picks right now, and I'm saying the Detroit Lions.
Well, let's say hold on. We'll get to that because we got to start with the game in London, Jacksonville at Buffalo. Even though it's really a neutral site game, arguably a Jaguars home game, but the Bills are favored by 5.5. But that's not going to deter me because I'm still taking the Bills.
Oh, easily. They're going to crush. I think that, you know what, there's an interesting thing that I've heard about the traveling and the body clock and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it don't. Like the Giants stayed out west.
But didn't Jacksonville stay in London?
Yeah, they are. They're staying the whole time. So that's what they're saying. It could be a little bit of an advantage for Jacksonville in a weird way because they're over there. I'm saying it's no because then they don't have any. They're just eating fish and chips and shit. They got no Burger King.
There's Burger King in London.
Out there.
Is there?
Yeah,
for sure.
You think it tastes the same?
It tastes
Probably
different,
tastes better.
but-
Probably,
yeah, honestly, yeah, it probably tastes
They're
better.
probably putting better
London
stuff in
food,
there.
like,
we are
even,
in Europe.
even London McDonald's apparently tastes better.
I've heard
I've
that.
heard that. Yeah, I remember.
Actually, Canadian McDonald's is better than American McDonald's. I must. Yeah, I wasn't impressed with McDonald's in the States.
This
I
is
heard
not
it's
true-
something
this
about
is
we
a
do at the
fast food
fryers.
segment.
I heard it's a fryer because we have different regulations. I've heard something along the line of the food business. I don't quote me on it, but there's something about our safety or qualifications in a fast.
But even
food
like the
place
quality of
that's
the
different
beef, I would say
there.
tasted better too.
Yeah, there's something. We have a higher standard for something in the fast
Our standard
food
for
business.
beef, baby.
Go Canada.
Who do you like? The Bills?
Uh,
We'll go one team at a time.
5.5 spread.
Man, honestly, I just feel like it can be like a 10-point lead, and then like I don't know, Jacksonville gets like a garbage time touchdown. So I'll take Jags at plus 5.5.
Okay.
I hope you treat your girlfriend better than that. Come on.
For the game, I'll take the Bills 5.5. But for my fantasy purposes, Travis Etienne having a great week.
Hell
I need
yeah.
him too. He's on my starting on my fantasy
then-
team.
We all have him.
But then,
Yeah, we all have
also the Buffalo defense having another 30-plus week. That's what's.
I dropped the Buffalo defense against Miami because I didn't think they would score. Right? That's one of my other.
I was the
Why would
first
you
mistake.
that Buffalo defense is the one? Like, why would you drop that?
Because
See,
I thought
my-
for the week, because I needed other points elsewhere, so I thought, sometimes your defense gets 30 or your defense gets 6. So I thought the game would be lower scoring and that the defense would show up, but I didn't think they'd get all those interceptions and all that.
Cruz. It's a good thing you
insanity.
fired your GM.
Yeah,
Oh, fired him
my
immediately.
only
Immediately
issue with
fired.
what I did was, and the biggest mistake I regret is I took the first defense in the draft. I took Buffalo over San Fran, and that was because at the time Bosa was still.
At the end of the
He was
year,
still
Mike.
out.
At the
So I
end
was
of the
like,
year, it could be apples and oranges. We'll never know.
Yeah.
Next case.
So next we have New Orleans at New England. New England favored by just 1 point. I'm taking the Patriots. I think New Orleans is looking a little fraudulent this season. Looking for the Patriots to bounce back at home.
We got two Pats guys here, so I know where that's going with both of you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge bounce back. Like, needs to be a bounce back week for the Patriots. So I'll take.
I hope you guys don't think that you should fire Belichick, should you?
Absolutely
No,
not.
I don't. I'm not on
Good,
that
I
train
love
at all.
Glad you
Not
guys
at
think
all.
this. That's the most ridiculous talk I hear out of New England. You don't respect the man? Shut up. You know what I mean?
Zach.
You like Zach?
My only question is Derek Carr, is he fully back or is he still like limited? For like
Limited to what? Throwing him in interceptions or fumbles? What's he limited to?
I thought he was off because after the AC joint injury he got.
He's starting though this
He's
week.
starting, yeah. I feel like he's starting that. I'm taking the Saints. Over.
Okay.
I just think Chris Olave and him have too good of a connection.
And Michael Thomas should have a better thing. He's starting to get more targets. But I'm
Yeah.
putting it this way. Another defense that's underrated in the NFL is New Orleans Saints. And against
I will say, they were really good against
So
the
first of
Packers.
all, let's all bet the under on this game because then
Yeah.
we'll go
That's
over.
what I
We
was
should
gonna say
all
too,
bet
yeah.
the under on this game. And I'm taking the Saints too because I think they have just a tad more offense.
I forgot Kamara's back too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Completely
saying-
forgot about that.
I'm saying there's a tad more offense on New Orleans, and I still got a little because of Brady. At home they should do it, but I'm thinking New England's. They're in trouble, guys. Like your
We'll
defense
see.
getting on. I hope they're not. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm taking the Saints.
New York Giants at Miami Dolphins. 12.5 point spread for the Dolphins. That seems like a lot, but
I mean,
Nothing good comes after but.
I mean the Giants suck.
it's Daniel Jones season, baby.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins as much as that pains
Yeah,
me.
it's got to be Dolphins here. I think, like the Giants,
Yeah.
even after their terrible performance on Monday night, like they're not gonna. It's not gonna get better for them. I'm sorry.
Give me the Dolphins and Tyreek Hill with 200 yards for my fantasy team.
Ooh, Cruz.
Notice we all Dolphins all day. Notice the fantasy thing comes up, but you know what? One thing I've been noticing this year, except for Kansas City, they keep screwing you. If you notice, some of these big spreads are coming in no problem. You know, and especially good team, bad team, especially at home. And then the home things start to work. Remember last week I
Yep.
said we took too many visitors, and look what happened. They didn't win because we made picks last week. And I always just look at the matrix. Doesn't matter who's playing. If I see more on the visiting side than the home, I get nervous because
Yep.
and look what happened last week. Perfect example. Let's go on.
Baltimore visiting Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, the home dog, 4.5 point spread. I'm taking the home dog.
Good for you.
Yep.
Got some balls.
Gonna agree on that. Pittsburgh to cover.
I don't know if Pittsburgh wins this game, but I think they can keep it close at least.
Yeah. And their defense needs to respond after last week against Houston, so I think they'll go for a shutdown performance.
I'm taking Baltimore. Just Pat Freiermuth not in the lineup for the 1 o'clock game, and I think that's gonna kind of just take a big hit towards that team. And then you look at I always get it confused. It's Pickens is the wide receiver.
Pickens.
Yeah.
I just think
The quarterback.
Is that Pickett? Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, there's a Pickett and a
see,
Pickens.
see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's so confusing.
Okay.
Damn it, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they just draft players with different names. George Pickens, I think with Freiermuth out, you get more attention on him. Najee Harris has not been good
That's the old line
this
problem
year.
too.
Yeah,
O-line
and I
problems.
think
It's an offensive coordinator
Or,
problem, too.
yeah,
We've
we know
talked about
that. It's
Matt
well
Canada.
documented.
I keep just hearing things like you look at on the side of Baltimore, Odell's out. Zay Flowers is just gonna. This kind of I think is coming out party.
Andrews too has been playing good. I'm taking Baltimore all day because this is a chance when you got a team down, you got to kick them. Okay, so Cincinnati's in trouble, and Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are both having issues. You got to kick them when they're down because this is the toughest division in football, and you know the rivalry's going home now.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. I'm still in Baltimore, but what you guys is home dog Heinz Field. Look at the numbers. Like we're outliers here betting on this game, but I think this is a time for Baltimore someone's got to grab because we got the 4 games over. Baltimore only screwed up that one game.
Yep.
Okay, and they had not a lot of their offensive guys in were missing, and it was a hodgepodge. But besides that, their defense has carried them well too. So
And they're 2-0 on the road so far, and 2-0 in division games.
Exactly, yeah.
So.
So that's all those numbers go with me. So I'm taking Baltimore.
That's what I'm saying. I might win. I think Baltimore might win that outright, but I think Steelers keep it close. Carolina at Detroit. Detroit favored by 9.5 at home.
Stop it.
Den all day. Taking the Lions.
Thank you. Defend the den.
Yep, Lions for sure.
Yep.
I'll go with the Lions. I think.
Thank you, gentlemen. I don't have to yell at anybody or trip you when you're walking by me. Okay, anything like that. Next.
Houston at Atlanta. Atlanta favored by 1.5.
Oh my God.
How?
Yeah, I'm going with Houston. Atlanta, I would call them fraudulent at the beginning of the season, and time has only proven me right.
Yeah, Houston. I'm going Houston for sure as well.
Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I think C.J. Stroud just gets better as the season goes on. More weapons and. More
I picked Atlanta to win the division. So guess what? They're at home, and if they lose now, I'm going to go down and take Arthur Plank and puncture the tires in his Escalade. Okay? That's all there is to it. Okay, I'm taking Atlanta.
Tennessee.
No confidence.
Tennessee at Indianapolis. Indianapolis, the home dogs. Tennessee's favored by 2.5. Give me the home dog again.
Yeah, that's
I don't know
game of
how
the week.
I don't know how the Colts are
Yeah.
dogs.
What's that? It's Indy at
No, they're home.
Tennessee.
Tennessee's at and Tennessee's. I don't know how the odds makers came up with that one.
Because Tennessee's got a weird thing over Indy. If you check the books and the numbers,
It's
there's a
fine though.
weird-
Jonathan Taylor's back.
Yeah.
Will he be playing though? I doubt it.
He's active.
Okay.
Indy,
I don't
know.
expect him to be that good, but
No,
I'll still take the Colts. I like their defense.
Yeah,
Oh, me too.
Colts.
Another game I think we should take
Do you
under,
say
guy.
Colts or you
I'm
said
taking-
Titans?
I'm taking,
Okay.
I'm taking Indy too.
Now we're into the 4 o'clock slate of games. Cincinnati at Arizona. Arizona home dog.
Let's go
3-point
with it.
spread.
You going with another home dog?
No.
Oh, I thought he had it going here.
I'm taking the Bengals. I don't like Arizona. What, just because they beat the Cowboys one game? Come on.
I think their defense is okay, but I really think Cincinnati's in big trouble. Like, they had that game when they won the one game, their defense looked like killers, and then last week their defense looked like frauds. I switched their
So they'll
defense,
bounce
but-
back. They'll go back to being good.
On the road? They haven't won on the road yet this year, have they?
Well, why not? This is a good time to start.
This is a good time to get it going.
Steven, what are you saying?
It's tough for me. It really is. Part of me want to say Arizona for some reason, but I think I'm going to go Cincy here.
Because y'all like Joe Burrow's girlfriend. That's why. That's why you're all
Like,
picking. It's 'cause
I
you
don't
like
even know who
Joe
his
Burrow.
girlfriend
I got
is.
Burrow in one of my
Right?
fantasy
I don't even know who
leagues,
his
so I need to
girlfriend
do
is.
well.
You just got to see her. Who cares? You don't have to
Hello,
know her name.
Google.
You
Let's
just got-
see.
You got to see her. That's all.
I'm taking the Cardinals. I think, last week they ran into just a phenomenal defensive team. They played a really good game against the Cowboys and then just ran into basically Joey Bosa and the dogs out there in San Fran.
Nothing you're going to do about
Exactly.
that. That's what I'm saying. And you know what? I think Arizona's going to give it to them, too, because I think that I'm taking main reason home game. Like, if this was in Cincy, I would be taking Cincy, but this is one of those things where I've been watching all year. We've been talking about, Andrew, sometimes you just take the home team, or like you've been doing the home dog. So I'm going to...
a couple times.
Yeah. There you go.
Eagles at the Rams, another home dog, 4-point spread, but I'm taking the Eagles.
Yep, I'm Eagles here as well.
Rams, they've been surprising this year, but I still don't think they're that good.
I'm going with the Eagles as well. I think the Rams are getting Cup back this week.
Yep.
So,
Yep,
I mean,
back.
that'll give them a little bit of a boost with, like, Puka and all that. But the Eagles are just the Eagles. They're just playing really good football.
No, they're not. They're playing mediocre football and learning how to win. Really look at Philadelphia. They had a big game from Brown last week, and they got over it. Philly's not played their best defense, best football yet, but I still say they're going to be there.
Yeah.
But my surprise team this year is my boy Matt Stafford and Rams at home. I'm all day. I still got Matt Stafford loving. He's one of the top 4 rated quarterbacks. And my girl, Mina Kimes, said the best thrown footballs in this year in the NFL were thrown by Matt Stafford. And if Mina Kimes is saying that, then I'm listening. Hope you're doing okay, Mina, out there. Baby time.
Yep.
Taking the Rams all day.
The Kansas City Chiefs, 3.5-point favorites at the Minnesota Vikings, so another home dog. But I'm taking the road team once again. Love the Chiefs. Vikings looking a little fraudulent there, buddy.
Yep, I'm going to have to agree, taking the Chiefs here as well.
I think the spread's a little low, too, despite Kansas City being on the road.
Yeah.
No, that's Vegas conning us, I think, because this is a weird game.
Vikings are ass. I'm going KC.
What?
Vikings are ass. I'm taking KC.
Well, here's what I'm saying is that Minnesota is like top 5 offense in the league. Okay? And KC's defense has been up and down. It's in the dome.
Just double covered Jay Jettis and you'll be fine.
I don't know if that's going to matter.
No, but, okay.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
Okay, but with the defense going there in that way and playing in Minnesota and it being that loud is the fact that, and I hate the Vikings, guys, and they're in my division, so if they get hit by a bus, I'm not crying. I'm just thinking that I'm going to take Kansas City, but I'm very, very, it's 3.5, right?
Yes.
My only thing about the Vikings is it's been the issue since basically the entire Kirk Cousins stead. Their O-line is non-existent. He gets hit more than any quarterback in football.
But look at him now. He's still got what? He's thrown for 4 300-yard games or whatever in his time. I know he's got Justin Jefferson, but he was doing this before. I'm saying the Vikings are this is what they say all the time. Last year they what 9 1-score games. They've already lost 3 1-score games. So it's got to balance out, right?
Who's the tackle, or not the tackle, the rusher for KC? He just came back a couple weeks ago. Chandler Jones. Yeah. Like I think he just makes
Chris Jones, isn't it?
Chris Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones.
Chandler Jones is the guy that they shipped away because he's been doing bad drugs again.
Yep.
Something went on. He's done some weird.
So we're all on the Chiefs?
Yes, we do.
Red Kingdom.
New York Jets at the Denver Broncos. Is this a full-blown tank bowl, as a urinating tree would call it? It might be. Denver favored by 2.5 at home. Oh, man, this is another one I don't like either way. I think Denver sneaks out of this one.
I think you may be right because it's in Mile High, right?
Yeah, it's in Denver.
That's another ring. I'm going to go that too, just because it's home. No other reason, because like these teams shouldn't even be given the time of day. This should be the game that if you got the NFL Sunday ticket, they delete that game.
Delete it.
You know what I mean? That's like they should do something like that.
Hilarious.
You know what I mean? Come on. That's so bad. And that's what happens with the NFL. Think about it, guys. Sometimes they just get bad games. Look at the Monday night game. But anyways, go on. Is everyone
Okay. Monday night. Come on.
I'm sorry, Zach. I'm calling it like it is. You liking the Broncos too at home?
Hold on. Well, so Broncos. We're all on the Broncos.
No, actually, I'm
you're
on the Jets for this one, and
I'm on the Jets as well.
Wow.
I almost forgot about this, but I heard it the other day from watching SportsCenter about how back in training camp, Sean Payton called out Nathaniel Hackett.
I might change my bet.
For one of saying that he was one of the worst coaches.
Well, there's one problem with the Jets though. They have Zach Wilson at quarterback.
See, that was the thing.
They have that defense, so and it showed up on a Sunday night. They got maybe because they've been on the field so goddamn much, but that defense of the Jets is legit.
Sure, they're looking good.
You know what I mean? You know what? I think that what you might make me say, I got to start thinking about the Jets. I would have gone home and remembered it, but how could Sean Payton say that all about a guy? And now you're going to go into their house?
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets as well. I get Zach Wilson is not that good, but after watching him against the Chiefs the past week and what he said on the sidelines, I think that was the first step in the right direction for him to try to prolong his NFL career.
Oh, yeah.
Just like you can see how much that it was only like a 3-point loss, but like you see how much that hurt being like it's my fault.
Okay, but
And
first
everybody
time, well,
consoling
here's
him,
what
Rodgers in the building too.
the thing about that kid is this, and everybody knows it. He's got NFL arm strength. Like he can make the throws. It's
245 or 49 passing yards last game.
He can throw the ball. You see some of the spots he hit. Finally, he threw rockets, but it's not how you throw the ball. It's what's between your ears. So, like you're saying, maybe he's going to make the advance. I'm only taking the Jets just because I hate Sean Payton. That's the only reason I'm taking him, just because I hate Sean Payton. What a freaking dickhead schmuck. If he didn't have Drew Brees, maybe he wouldn't have a Super Bowl. So screw that schmuck. You were God for what? You know what I mean?
Okay. That's enough.
I'm not
moving
even
on
done.
to the moving on to the
I want to say more.
Moving on to the Sunday night game, we have Dallas visiting San Francisco. San Francisco favored by 3.5 points. San Francisco's been my Super Bowl pick all year. I'm sticking with them. Give me the Niners.
Yep, I'm going Niners here as well, 3.5.
Yeah, I think their defense is better. Christian McCaffrey is just a dog on that team. I'm taking the 49ers.
First of all, I hope a dog poops on Jerry Jones's shoe as he's coming into the arena. I hope that Dak Prescott's girlfriend gives him a hard time a night before the game. I hope that they all forget their catching gloves so everybody drops the balls. Because if you can say that I'm pretty well sick of a team that we got to get stuffed down to our throat every goddamn week, and what do? They haven't won nothing. They've done nothing, and they're fraudulent. You know, they got the first good game. They got their ass kicked by Arizona. I expect San Francisco to make a statement where they want to crush them at home. Like, you know what I mean? These are one of those football statement weeks, and they knocked them out of the playoffs for the last 2 years. So, you know, Dallas is coming to play. There's no doubt about it. But I think in Levi Stadium, Sunday night when the lights are bright, and that defense coming up there, Cowboys go home. I'm not going to call them the Cowboys. I'm going to call them the Rams, like the U's. Is that what you call them, like a U? They'll be the Dallas U's when they leave that place that night. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, I'm taking San Francisco.
Okay, and that finally takes us to the Monday night game. Green Bay Packers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders favored by 2.5 at home. I'm taking the road dog. Give me the Packers. Because this is going to be like a home game for Green Bay, knowing what we know about Vegas.
You're taking Green Bay?
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'll agree on that. I think I'll take Green Bay as well.
We know who you're taking.
Go Pack, go baby, let's go. We got Jairi back. He's going to cover Devontae. They've already quoted about it. They've already gone back and forth on social media about it. Jairi getting back. We haven't had half of our defense all year long, and we're starting to get healthier. Joe Barry still thinks he needs to be fired into the sun because he's the reason we keep losing. But, yeah, that's about it.
And the dish ran away with the spoon, right? Is that what's happening? I think that it's unfortunate, but I think that the NFC North is going to, the only shining light in that division is going to be my beloved Detroit Lions, even though Justin Fields showed something that
Justin Fields is ass.
Well, okay,
He's
That was a one-off.
But I'm saying like that to be Green Bay. If they win, like, you know, it's a horrible game, guys. I don't care what you say. This is Green Bay against Vegas on a Monday night. They got to do something. Both teams have been shit. You know what? The loser, their season's all over. No chance for you. Either the loser of this game, like, write your season off. Go for the pick. If you win this game, you have a chance to turn it around because this is the second quadrant. But what the records will be now? 0-5, 1-4, whatever. You don't win on those records, so they got to have a win here. You can come back from 2 and whatever, but you can't come back if you lose like that now.
Green Bay's 2-2.
Okay, I'll say they'll be 2-3.
Yeah.
And they may be able to come back, but Vegas has to win. Absolutely must win for Vegas. I'm taking them, which is
That doesn't mean they're going to win, though.
no, but I'll give them the benefit of a doubt. You know,
Is it because of our location by chance?
I'm not saying nothing.
Okay.
Okay, but good. God bless the house that happens and Chewy's Bar and Grill and the Raider Familia. You guys are gonna be whatever it is. I'll be disappointed all year.
Well, you said it, not me. That's just about going to wrap up our show today. But before we get off the air, we got our hockey show. You're going to hear that tomorrow. It's going to be up on Sunday. But we lost a few big names in sports this past week that we'd be remiss if we didn't mention them. Dick Butkus, Tim Wakefield, and Russ Francis all taken from us just a little too soon.
I think the biggest name amongst them all is, of course, Mr. Dick Butkus because of his career in entertainment in football, and he is a top 100 player of all time. Okay, so I God bless Dick Butkus. Amazing football. I start with Lawrence Taylor and then Dick Butkus in the history of linebackers. The guy was an animal. Have you seen some of his hits from back in the day? They're all 15 yards roughing the passer shit. Okay, just to let you know. But God bless Dick Butkus. I think that Tim Wakefield will always be remembered, guys. Do you remember that game against the Red Sox and the Yankees? It was a year before the Boston finally won the World Series. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And God bless Tim Wakefield, because we should talk about him as the man, what he did in the community in this. But guys, this is where analytics got fucked. The game's going into extra innings, and they bring Tim Wakefield out as the reliever. You heard the story, right?
Yeah.
He's a knuckleball pitcher. The Yankees have been looking at guys that were throwing a hun all game. If you go back and look, Jeter runs up. Who hit the home run? Boone?
Yeah, Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone. Runs him up into the ear, and I swear he says, hit the first one. We've been looking at fastballs all night. Sit on that knuckleball, and what was it? First pitch knuckleball. Into the stands,
Boom.
game over, and I remember poor
Yankees
Tim.
go to the World Series.
Yeah, and Wakefield's on his knees there. But he got to stick around for the 2 championship series.
Yep.
He's truly died well before his age. What he's done in the community, what he's done as a broadcaster, God bless Tim Wakefield.
And I actually didn't know how he passed. I learned it from our manager, Brian, when I was doing Humber stuff. And it was
He's a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, brain. I think it was
the
brain,
same as
brain
Gord
cancer
Downey.
at 53. And it's like, that's just, obviously, like, you don't want to see anybody pass away. Like, all 3 names here, it's tough. But, like, seeing, like, Tim Wakefield at 53 to brain cancer, it's like, oh, man. He was a very good broadcaster.
Oh, excellent broadcaster.
Very good, color guy, just to give an analysis to the game. And, like you said, fantastic community guy.
Like, they don't always advertise that, and those guys don't want it advertised.
Yeah.
But what they have done is amazing. And the last guy we got to talk about is, I don't know if you guys knew who Russ Francis is, but he's a legend in New England. Mm-hmm. Legend in New England. He's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's on the borderline. Mm-hmm. What happens, he actually retired, and Bill Walsh from San Francisco went to his house and said, man, you got more gas in the tank. And he went on to win a Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, the first one in 82, I believe.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because he was playing when I was in high school. And unfortunately, he died in a plane crash, gone well before his time. God bless him and his family. Anytime we lose people in these sad ways, we got to give them at least a moment of pause, because we know not everyone lives forever. And it's tragic when we lose them before their time.
Yeah, and we didn't really mention it's Canadian Thanksgiving weekend either. So happy Thanksgiving, happy Turkey Day. Cherish your loved ones, enjoy. Try and not have those family fights at the table. I don't know.
Oh, we're good at our house. I'm just going to say one thing that I've never done, and I'm going to do it now because I don't think about doing it, but we've got a food bank issue, guys, so I think I'm going to take a couple cans and throwing it in there because my freezer's pretty full, and as you're seeing today, we've got economic problems in the community where people are going to the food bank way more than they used to.
Yeah, and that's just sad. No 2 ways about it.
But we'll get over it. We're going to have a positive weekend. We're going to say defend the den. I want to thank very much Stephen Milani and Zack Benoit. Did I say it in the French way?
Yeah, you remembered it. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because I think that's all we got to say. Anything that you got to say there, Andrew, before we go?
No, that's just about it. Thank you for listening to The House That Happens. Hey, you know what? I mentioned at the end of the show, like, you'll hear my voice saying where you can listen and follow us and all that. Shoot us an email. Ask us a question if you guys want. We'll answer it on the show.
Because you know what we do at The House That Happens?
We keep the vibe alive. You can find The House That Happens on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and follow us on Twitter at House Happens. You can also shoot us an email at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.